Good afternoon, people. How are you today? I'm Glenn Wells, and this is the THC show with Neil Magnuson. Truth, hope, and change. Neil's not with us today. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, so I get to guest host for my very first show. And wow, boy, am I ever feeling a bit nervous, but I think I can do this. So I hope you all are doing good today. We've got Josh Potsquatch in the house and Adam Potsquatch from Newfoundland, and they're going to be here for the 420 session. We don't know if Jerry Martin's going to be here today, but we think so, but if not, we've got it all worked out. So now Neil usually does a rant right now, so I guess I could do a little bit of a rant. Yesterday I had a really good idea that, with all these protests going on for the gas lines and the pipelines, that we should have our little protests and put it back into the 420 Vancouver event that happens every 420 every year. So I'm thinking that we should maybe get together at the art gallery at 11 o'clock and all march down to Sunset Beach, because it all starts at 12 o'clock down there, and we can put the protests back in the protest, because these medical marijuana laws are just not fair. Like, I'm on disability, and I would have a hard time buying the government weed. I wouldn't want to smoke it because of the irradiation and the chemicals, but I think it's time that we have to stand up for our rights again, just like we did in order to get this legalization, and I think it's time to do some time to change it again. I think we've had a year to rest from protesting before, and I think it's time to start doing it again, because us medical people count just like the indigenous people do too. So, this stuff, it helps a lot of kids, it helps a lot of adults with pain, helps a lot of people with opioid addiction. Like, I just can't understand why the government would feed everybody crap like this and say it was a bad drug, which we know it's not. So, my name is Glenn Wells. You guys probably know that. And how I got here to this desk today would be like 3 years of doing some videos on Facebook and getting a bunch of people to follow me and stuff like that. I came on Facebook just to show people that cannabis wasn't as bad as the government was telling us. I was doing dabs and showing them I was perfectly okay. I've created 2 businesses in my life. I've been smoking for almost 40 years now. I have scoliosis and I have PTSD from sexual abuse as a child, so cannabis has been a real big part of my life. It's helped out so much. I used to be on antidepressants and all kinds of stuff, and as a kid they would tranquilize me 3 times a day for about 5 years, and then when they kicked me out of the group homes, I had no more tranquilized medication, so I started using cannabis and found that it sort of made me feel the same way as when I was on my medication, and that's how I've been coping for the last 40 years. Smoking every day and doing dabs. Well, I haven't been doing dabs every day the last 4 years, I think it is. But that's how I got here today, and now I'm on Cannabis Culture and Pot TV, and being a guest host today, and a host with Neil every week, so really appreciate the opportunity today, Neil, and we really wish that you get better soon. What else can I do? Because I'll have a drink here. I'm going to say hi to everybody. I see Sue saying hi. I see Michael Landlord saying hi there. This is got to fill up my time here. What else was I going to do? Oh, I know. How I got the name 8 out of 10 Glenn. All right. So, about a year and a half ago, I live in a small town, and we have lots of bears there. And we live in a basement suite, and our basement suite door leads into a carport. And we have tons and tons of bears in our area. We have signs all over Mission, BC that say, "You live in bear country. Beware of bears." So last December 7th, 2018, my daughter was walking out the door, and in our carport was a bear. So I had to pull her back, and I slammed the door, and I went into my safe. I grabbed a bear banger, which is a quarter stick of dynamite. Went back to the door, lit the bear banger. Excuse me, because this is really hard to say. But I lit the bear banger, and I was going to open the door, throw it out, because you have 8 seconds, and close the door and scare the bear away. Well, the first time when I slammed the door, I slammed it so hard that it jolted the lock, and the lock locked by itself. So I'm standing there with this firecracker about to go off in my hand, and my daughter right behind me, she's only 6, So, and the door is like right in front of me here. So I threw it away, and as I threw it away, it blew up, and it blew up my fingers. And came here and met Al, the alchemist, and he said, "We're gonna call you 8 out of 10 Glenn." And I embraced it ever since there. I even have a page called 8 out of 10 Glenn on Facebook. So I really thank Al the alchemist, for giving me that name. It's very appropriate. I claim to not be perfect, and being 8 out of 10 is just absolutely perfect. What else was I going to talk about? Let's see. I took some notes here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, I did those 2 things, and I did the 3 things already. All right, I don't know. We got 4:06 already. Hey, I'm only used to like doing 15 minutes. Fired up and relaxed. All right, Prudence. Yeah, I guess so. We'll just spark up a joint here. I got some friends here. Want to bring in my friends? All right. Oh, man. We got Josh and Adam Potsquatch here today. Hi, guys.
What's happening?
They're going to jump in a little bit early because I'm nervous.
Nothing wrong with that, my friend.
Yeah, you're an expert at
We're
this.
here the most part. Well, if it's an expert of, talking up my ass, baby.
Yeah.
I can go forever. I grew up to some of 2 priests, and then I discovered cannabis.
Yeah.
My goodness, there it went.
What about Adam? Adam, tell me where you're from.
I'm originally from Newfoundland, in a town called Potsquatch, actually, the furthest easterly point in Canada.
Is that near Come By Chance? Because I know there's a town in Newfoundland called Come By Chance.
There's also dildo in Newfoundland.
Yeah, there is. There's a dildo in Newfoundland, too. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I got it. All right.
Well, there we go.
There we go. That's better. Yeah, that's a 60. There you go. A little bit more forward. There we go.
Oh, yeah, you're hot now.
I'm hot. Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you guys for coming out today. It was kind of short notice. I got short notice too, and now you guys are here to. And we've got Dave. Dave is coming on today too. He's an organic grower, so we'll be able to ask some questions of him today, hopefully.
Well, it's kind of good that Adam got to come on the show today.
Yeah.
Because we were actually supposed to be shooting the first 4 episodes of our new cooking show we're doing with Typhoon TV, actually. But then their sound people weren't able to make it on the date, so I had to shift it to the following weekend. So now Adam gets to see some cool stuff and get on someone's show.
Yes. So it's like the universe was taking care of him today.
How do you feel, Adam, to be on Hot TV at Kansas Culture?
It's quite different being on the other end of it. I'm usually watching it on the phone there.
Not even a laptop, on the phone,
On
eh?
the phone,
On the phone.
Please.
And what do you do? Where you live in Melville, right?
Yeah, I'm in Melville.
We were talking about Melville because I've been to Melville before. I know where Melville is. I've been up there a few times. Well, once during the fair.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So what do you do up in Melville?
I'm actually an apprentice mechanic at the Ford dealership in town.
Okay. So you don't do any growing or anything?
I do on the side for my...
Just your 4 plants, right?
4 plants, yeah.
He's my apprentice.
Yeah. Well, from what we learned in Saskatoon, I'm only limited to 4 flowering plants per time.
It's true under
The way it's written
law.
technically now.
So that means budding, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The flowering, the budding, but no limit on vegging.
It's not what they meant to write in terms of the law. There's no way that in terms of the technical legal wording.
Yeah.
That's one of the things we learned there.
So you can have a whole bunch of clones and stuff right up to the part where they're going to bud, and you can only have 4. So can you actually time the plants that way?
As long
with
as
only 4 plants? I know you can with a whole bunch,
totally,
right?
Yeah.
Really,
eh? Yeah, like for example, if you wanted to do it this way, like for example, I'm going 3 zones in my grow right now. We're shifting into doing that with perpetual style. If you were to veg out a bunch of plants and then you grow something super big and you call zone 1 and grow this giant plant down in like a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 gallon pot inside and grow this giant monstrosity of a bush, I mean, you're still going to get a huge pull off of that, and you're technically only using 4 plants. Rotate in and out, perpetual, there you go.
Okay. So I was more like thinking of like Okay, so the plant's about to bud. It's got maybe a week and a half of budding before you would stop it or chop it down.
No, most flowering windows for most strains is usually going to be about anywhere from 8 to 13 weeks, depending. I mean,
budding?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that's just from seed to the finish.
No.
Oh, okay. 8 to 13 weeks, really, eh?
Yeah. Classically, some things finish a little quicker, and then some strains, especially with certain LED lighting systems, will finish a little quicker as well. But bare minimum 8 weeks, usual run. Most things, the way I like to take them down is at least a 10 to 20% ambering on the trichromes. That's about a 9-week run on a lot of the indicas and cushions I run personally.
So you want those 4 plants to be the ones that are behind it, at least 2 months behind.
I mean, it wouldn't be a tricky way to time it, but as long as you keep it in veg, technically under the wording of the law, you should be okay.
So anybody, that's what I'm saying. Anybody could technically do that, right?
Oh, technically.
Yeah, you could maybe have one growing plant in a tent or another tent with some bed babies and stuff like that, right? So,
but even if it's a 6 foot tall plant that's still in veg, it's still technically a vegging plant.
It's still a vegging plant,
You know, there used to be originally some stipulations on the sizes of it, but they took that out because that didn't make sense because you can't control that. Some plants stretch a lot.
Yes. And they get tall by stretching? Or do you mean?
So typically, like with a lot of plants,
that's the lighting, though, isn't it?
No. It's a natural process when you flip indoors to 12-12 to trigger a traditional photoperiod plant to go into flower.
12 hours, 12 days.
12 hours on, 12 hours off. There's going to be the classical stretch. Most strains will stretch anywhere from 100 to 200% in terms of their final height actual. So if you look at the first couple of weeks on most flips, on like a YouTube channel, like on our channel on Potsquatch Growers, you know, there's some crazy stretching the first 2 to 4 weeks usually.
Okay.
Yeah, they get big.
Wow, yeah.
So you have to kind of calculate that in when you're an indoor grower.
So are you using the word stretching as growing or just actual
It's during the flip to 12-12. So it's that initial transition to flower when you're really sort of establishing the plant where it starts to grow little nodal sites out and then they kind of come together to make the big beautiful bud in the end.
Yeah.
They kind of stretch out, right? They'll keep growing in a vegetative sense.
Oh, you know that
flower as they transition to the blossoming.
Yeah, because I've done some outside growing, never done any inside.
Yeah,
right?
It's a little different.
I let Mother Nature take care of it.
I want you guys to lean forward and also
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Yours a big boy voice, Adam.
I used to talk too loud, so I was trying to be polite.
You're gonna have to do it here, Adam.
I guess I'm gonna have to
You're gonna
talk
be
loud
up
now,
like you're in Newfoundland and you're talking to your neighbor. So then you go from 12-12 and then it's a little bit later, I guess. Less light means more buds, right?
Well, basically for a traditional plant, classically you drop it down to a 12-12. So that 12 hours of darkness allows enough flowering hormone to sort of develop within the tissues of the plant to trigger the nodes to start turning into the little buds.
Yes,
they grow those buds together into a thing.
And how many hours of daytime should you have for like the budding? Is it less than
12-12?
It's always 12.
Some people will play around
because like in October or in September it's a little bit less, isn't it? Like 13 hours
we don't do that.
nighttime and a little bit.
True.
Yes.
If we were to emulate that, that would make it a longer flowering window. So when you're doing indoor growing, if you go straight to 12-12, you can get a full flowering cycle out in about 8 to 10 weeks.
So 12 hours on, 12 hours off.
So you just I like to just go to it. Some people will give 24 or 48 hours of darkness. I personally think this is pointless. I just kind of go right into the 12-12. It naturally does its thing and it knows what it's doing. It's a smart plant. It knows what it's doing, you know.
And what things have you learned with growing there, Adam? Since you're a little bit younger, the millennial division of our generations.
Well, I've actually learned quite a bit, actually, mostly from him and research. And I know it's.
Yeah, but usually when you learn something, you also learn something else. Like I didn't know that, and you found out by yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I found a lot of new little tricks out that I've learned, like personally that work for me. Like just trying, like even with cloning, I could never get it to work, and then I started using nutrients to clone in.
Yeah,
and it works.
That blue liquid.
Well, not even that. I use like my 3-part system that I feed to my plants: macro, micro, and bloom.
Yeah.
And I just put them straight in that. Nowhere. Just
really?
Change it out every 3 or 4 days.
Oh yeah, because I used to have to dip a whole bunch of clones in the blue liquid all the time and then put them into something, right?
Yeah, I've tried that. I could never really get them to work, and I tried everything else, and this seems to work good for me.
And how old are you?
I'm at 27 now.
See, 27-year-old people can grow pot too, right?
Well, I've only been growing like for 2 years now, and I'm actually quite I think I've progressed quite a bit since the beginning.
Tell everybody, is it hard? Is it easy?
It's honestly, it's just an initial investment. Once you get into it, and you obviously got to have the love for the plant.
like-
I mean,
yeah.
you're gonna get what out of it what you put into
And
it.
it's like live and learn, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Just like if you're learning to cook, you might burn something, you know, and then
yeah,
you
there
realize.
can be mistakes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're gonna learn from that and do better next time.
Yeah, and being that it's a plant, sometimes it can live through those
Yeah,
mistakes,
like,
right?
Yeah, I mean, I started my own process, creating my own strain to enter into the Cannabis Cup next year.
Oh,
in
and what's the name of your strain?
It's going to be called Black Death.
Black Death.
Yeah, I crossed a female Black Dominia with a male Death Bottle
Nice. I
plant.
can see Darth Vader packaging for it.
Yes.
Black
So, I mean,
Death.
It's actually
That's
what
cool.
we named the new truck actually after the strain. We just got a new truck. We even named it the Black Death.
Yeah, Black Death.
Yeah, well, it's all black. So we're like, well, hey, it's
It goes on killing sprees, I guess.
we've been both playing around as we try to kind of get some stuff together that we could bring to the Cannabis Cup sort of next year down in Saskatoon there.
Yep.
Make it fun, make it sexy.
Make it fun.
Black Death's one of them, and then there's the Violated Death push.
Yeah.
So you just let out the secret of what you're going to be bringing next year?
No, he said what he's working on.
he's too secretive.
Nah, we growing some Black Death and just outgrow you, yeah?
Yeah. There may be some other things coming.
Hopefully there's some other things,
There's
yeah.
a few other things, yeah.
So you've only been growing since you were 25 then, right?
Yeah, I basically started about 2 years ago.
And did you learn everything off of YouTube, or did you read some books, or did you have some influences in Melville?
Well, like, not really much for help in town. Like, mostly I learned off of YouTube, just kind of sifting through what I learned. And then once I got into the cannabis community out there, like, it's pretty easy to learn once you got all these people helping you out and the information that's out there. I found it was definitely a lot to take in, but it wasn't hard to find it. Where you just gotta sift through it all, and then you find some nice people. Like, I mean, I met Potsquatch there, and
Yeah.
I met yourself in
Yeah.
Saskatoon there. I mean, you meet a lot of nice people along the way. And
The cannabis community is great.
it is. I've learned that pretty quickly.
If they love you, and I mean, you know, they usually pull it together for you.
Yeah.
Like even with my fingers, after my accident, I had so much support, friends, and people were sending me creams and pills, and just not even me asking for it, but they knew I was hurt, and they see me cry on my video because my little girl thought that she was responsible for me losing my fingers. So and they helped me out somewhat. Some people would send me money financially, you know. I never even asked for it, but it was really nice, and the community was really amazing, and it's made me who I am today too, because now I want to help people, and through other people that I've known or meet, I've been able to help a lot of people. So, and it's an amazing plant. It's you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. And Josh, how long you been growing?
Technical arithmetic.
Yeah.
19, 20
That's
years.
called math.
Yeah, right? 19 or 20 years, give or take.
20 years.
If you count the first year of where I kind of killed stuff most of the time, I mean, you know, that on the
Maybe 22 years.
Well, I split up to like sometime. But, you know, and that's, so ever since I was a kid, I fell in love with pot early. I mean, probably it was partly, you know, being the son of two priests, growing up in the church. And I was always an actor.
I remember that from when you were on
I
live
was-
a little while ago, yes.
I was the black sheep, you know, and but yeah, you know, and I just started sort of learning and trying to do what I could, and then, you know, you start learning stuff. You put different knowledge sources together. Reading is the quintessential thing to really starting out, and then and not being afraid to take risks, play around, experiment, and if you screw up, it's okay because you learn from mistakes a lot more than positives. Right?
Yeah.
So, and it comes.
But you don't need to always read, because like I was, I'm never not much of a reader. I'm more of a visual person.
Yeah,
and
very
I've
much
been able.
Well, that's why YouTube's great, right? Like,
Yes.
I mean, you can have that sort of verbal and then.
Yeah, but just because it's on YouTube doesn't mean that person knows what he's doing.
No, you
that's why I started my YouTube channel actually. That is from a lot of stuff on the internet.
There are a lot of people on YouTube that know what they're doing. Not to say that there isn't, but there are some of those ones that'll make your plants turn brown or something.
That was actually probably one of the first reasons we started Potsquatch Growers and started the community and building what we did was because we got frustrated with that.
All right, guys, it's 420. Sparkle video got him. Happy 420, everybody. Hey, Leo! I just looked up there. My friend from Windsor that runs the 420 event in Windsor, Leo LeSure there. He's up there. Hey, hey, hey! Hope you have a great. Leo's event will be the 18th and the 19th of April. Because it's a Monday, there in Windsor won't let him do it on a Monday. So if you're in the Windsor area, check out Leo Lasur there, and he has a great amount. I think this is his 3rd year he's been doing this. And
oh wow!
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he's a real nice guy.
Beautiful.
He got in some trouble with the law, and then he started giving weed to people who would bring food in for the food bank.
Oh sweet.
Yeah, so every time he would bring in a can, he would give you some bud or something like that, and he actually got busted for that.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just stupid.
I know, eh?
Oh,
Like he was helping a lot of families. It was all the news. He was in the news and everything, right? So, yeah, they busted him. Even though he wasn't taking money, it was just by donation. And the law says that you can gift up to 30 grams.
True.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
what the heck is that?
yeah, I know. But Windsor still lets him have his event, so I guess that's right.
That's why they're going to keep fighting the system right
Yeah,
now. It's
yeah.
a little bit of a crop, but hey, we're a little bit closer than we were. At least we can, kind of use the words legal right
Yeah.
now. We can keep fighting for what that definition really means, right?
We get 100 to 150,000 people here in Vancouver for the
Oh, it's
420 event.
intense.
Yes, we just need to rally those people to get them going again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's why your March idea, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You know?
It's just a little bit late. I mean, there's only about 40 days left, maybe 50 days, something like that. Right? So it's kind of hard to do that. You'd probably need like 40 organizers and stuff like that. But
I'll come.
yeah, it's something we could shoot for next year, right?
We could do.
Yeah. I'm sure by 2 years of this legalization, people will be really pissed off. You know?
All they have to do is try government pot. And then,
Yeah,
right, right.
Yeah, and even some people are saying that they would rather have the government pay for their pot. Well, if you say that, they might just try to give you the government crap.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll give you the old paid for.
Yeah, sure. We'll give you free weed. Here's the stuff we can't
Take
sell,
out
right?
radiated
Yeah.
poison.
Yeah.
Damn.
But what should be is like you have to be able to buy what you want and then just put the receipts in. Right?
No,
If
exactly,
it's a
like
mom and
glasses
pop, yeah,
or,
a mom and
you
pop
know,
marijuana or a government store. We should, because we can make our own wine, we can make our own beer. Why can't we make our own marijuana and sell it too? So
Well, I mean, a lot of the restrictions from Healthcare Canada make it almost impossible to bring things easily to market and affordably for the real kind of the craft grower, the small local grower, right? I mean, we're not rich people. I mean, we can't keep up with that. And I mean, it's what's being produced by large LPs isn't what people want.
No.
For example, a medical grower, right, who has hold their personal ACMPR, let's say they had some extra from their harvest, they should be able to take it to a government run thing to check.
Yep.
It gets a stamp. It goes,
Yep.
this doesn't have mold or poison, it's not going to kill anybody.
it never killed anybody in the last 20 years we've been doing
They should be
this.
allowed to go sell it.
Yeah.
They should be allowed to go sell it. They can apply for a license. You want me to apply for a license? Do some paperwork?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Check my shit. I don't care.
They're going to tax it.
Yeah. Well, of course, and I'm okay with some taxes.
A little bit tax is a lot better than fucking chemicals, any radiation.
No, exactly.
Right? So
make real weed accessible.
yes,
Right?
yes.
If you want it to be successful, you got to start thinking realistically and not trying to control it.
I just don't understand why the government thought that they had a better idea after 20 years of it running this way here in British Columbia.
Yeah.
How they could think that we have a better idea.
Well, I mean, or we could argue it's the government, so of course they thought they could come in and just do whatever they
Yeah.
wanted to make it work.
Was it narcissistic or something?
At least a little bit of time. So
Yeah. We're better than you. We're better than you. We know how to do this.
Sorry, we're the unholy heathens. We are the serfdom, What we know, we've only been growing weed for a day or two.
So, Adam, have you won any cups
No, this will actually be my first time entering this year, yeah.
this year? Okay.
Yeah, when we go there in October.
Are you going to try to get into the Karma Cup?
I was thinking about it to see. if
Yeah.
I have enough time.
That's a really big cup. You win that cup, that's gets a lot of people talking.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a step to
I've
one
known
thing.
some people who go from there right to Cannabis. And one of the people from British Columbia has won in Cannabis too.
Nice. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely a goal. I want to try and see what I can do out there. And
Yeah. The only thing I think with Cannabis is that you have to be invited.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
It's
You
not
gotta
something
get
that
out
you
there
cannot
first.
just say, oh, I want to put my weed in, right?
Yeah.
I think you have to be invited. I'm not sure. I just think I've heard that.
Yeah.
I'm sure people can back me up or not back me up out there, right?
There's someone watching though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
Good time.
What's the best weed you ever grown there, Adam?
I'd have to be that black.
Something that would put you on your ass on the couch and you're sitting there like...
That plant that I made my Black Death.
Your Black Death, eh?
Yeah. Well, I haven't like the one I made it out of the Black Dominion, the mother plant that I bred. She that was the best stuff I've grown yet.
Wow.
And all like my friends that I give it out to all my
It's
friends.
great,
I mean,
too.
you're not wasting your money on the government crap. I don't know. I don't care. Take some.
And you learned how to do this after you did you learned how to do the cloning?
Yeah, I learned how to do all this. Like, I figured out the clone. It took me forever to get him. Like, he helped me, and then eventually I actually accidentally filled it up with nutrients one day. And that's how I learned to do that.
Oh, really, eh?
It started working after that, so I was like, cool, we can flip the plant to flower.
So I don't know anything about cloning or splicing plants together, so what do you do? Just put them both in the same liquid and they eventually grow together? Or?
Well, I harvested the pollen from the Death Bubba male. I grew them out and I harvested the pollen from it, and then when I was in week 3 of flower, I control pollinated.
Yes.
Like, I turn all my lights off, all my
So pollen like a powder?
Yeah, it comes out like an actual pollen, right?
Uh-huh.
I was asking you about cloning, not making sense.
Well, I thought he was talking about breeding them together.
Breeding them together. You said you added Black Death or something with another plant.
Oh, okay. Never
Yeah,
mind.
no,
Sorry,
yeah.
So I am wrong.
The Newfie's got it right.
I got it right.
This
You
time.
don't need any more of this. I got this.
All right.
Smoke another one, Josh. So go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so I
how do you
turned,
splice
like-
them together? Yes.
Yeah, like I turned all the fans off in the light, and then like week 3, and then I'll take the pollen with a paintbrush and just gently put it on the branches that I've tagged already.
Okay.
So I know which branch is going to have seeds in it.
And the
right?
leaf absorbs the pollen?
Yeah, like you put it in onto the pistil sites, like on the ends of the pistil, and that is what like it sucks it in through the pistil. It's what like, makes like the tube that it goes in, like
Yeah.
the vacuum hose. And then after I put the pollen on, I took a brown paper bag, put over the branch, and taped it at the bottom.
Okay.
And I did that to all of them.
Why?
That way I could turn on my fans without blowing
Oh,
all
well,
the
the pollen around.
Yeah, I
Okay.
gave it 48 hours to let the pollen sit in.
Yeah.
So they were in light deprivation for 48 hours, and I took the bag off.
And you had to have them in that light
Yeah,
machine?
well, just because there's no other way to keep it without getting condensation in there, because if I used a clear bag so the light would still get through, it would get a lot of mold.
You
in
get
it, right?
a little condensation from the plant
Yeah,
and stuff
so
like that.
I mean, they were a little droopy when they came out, but it
Yeah,
took
because
them
they
a
haven't
day.
seen light for 2
Yeah.
days. But as soon as they see light again, they just spark up. That's what I meant by a plant. Like you can
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
sometimes
they
you can
come
make a
back,
mistake and they can come right back, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's weed. It's like you're in your lawn in the summertime. You're always trying to kill your weeds. Those things keep coming back and coming back. Well, this is called weed too, right?
Same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen them come back from some amazing things.
I've seen one that was chopped and pruned and like no buds and then start growing again. And that's out in Gibson's, British Columbia. My friends Doug and Michelle, they've grown a plant twice. They
Yeah.
left it out in the yard over the winter time. And
Oh, survive, re-veg,
and it's
go over your
it
life
started
cycle,
growing
yeah.
again. Yeah.
I have Brussels sprouts doing that at my house right now.
Yeah, but you don't want to smoke Brussels sprouts there, Josh.
I
I don't even like it when you cook them in the house, man. I don't want to be smoking those things.
Good time.
Oh, well. And Josh, my wife, what's the best bud you've ever grown?
Probably my favorite thing would be the Sasquatch strain that I developed, and it wasn't even that high in THC. It was only about 18%. It was 22% CBD on it as well.
Oh, yeah.
It was a weird blending of all three CBDs, but it wasn't an auto flowering, but the CBD, a lot of it came from sort of ruderalis that went into it. I played around with that one, and that thing, even though it wasn't technically in terms of THC aspect crazy, it was one of the stickiest, dankest, sweetest, most funky tasting things I've ever met.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter who tried it, whether you were a business person or my rapper friends, or, or my gaming community friends. Everyone just loved it and went wild for this stuff, which was weird because I developed it to try to help my sister's MS.
Okay.
Because she has MS, right?
Yep.
So in the high CBD
And
THC.
we know it helps people with MS.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to have like a high CBD THC strain. So a lot of the CBD strains, I don't need 3 or 6% THC. I don't need 36% either. But I still would like a little bit of THC.
Yeah.
So that'd probably be my favorite one, at least that I personally worked on. As a kid, we had this stuff called the Chush. We didn't actually know what kind of kush it was. The guys we got it from were Chinese growers. They didn't speak a lot of English.
Okay.
Every time we asked, what is this? And they'd say, it's kush. So we just started calling it the Chush because it was this exotic, spicy, it was kind of had a few different phenotypes we would get from
Gunky?
it. No.
Just spicy.
It was kind of kush. It was a kush smell. Like
Yeah.
a really funky, sort of spicy, just a funky smell.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was exotic.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have some Hindu kush at home, so
Yeah,
it's got that
and
funky smell.
and there's something that the phenols they had was, I remember to this day from my childhood.
And that's what the phenos are, what you in the smell, right? So that some people say that when you smell a good bud and it makes you sneeze or go, wow, That's those phenos telling you that they're supposed to be part of your body or something like that. Your body
there's
needs
terpenes that
terpenes.
Phenos would make reference to the different kind of subtle variations between sort of sister plants, right?
Okay.
So like you could have one pheno that comes out spicier, right?
Oh, yeah.
So for example, if Adam preferred the spicy weeds, he would like that one. Like when I grew out that initial strain on its final stage of developing it, there was kind of an orange pheno. We had like a lemony pheno. Kind of not quite a mangoey one, but then there was the dark mama pheno. She was the densest, most crystally, and I couldn't describe it. It was, you just like, wow, you funky.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. All right.
And we kept her. She was special.
That was nice, eh?
Well, one day.
One day you'll regrow it.
Yeah, I'll bring it back one day.
You have the seed. You still have the seeds.
I have enough left to probably bring it back. Yes.
And then you could clone it.
Yeah, clone it or do a release on
joy.
at least a basic feminized version of it to share. Because I don't have enough to really probably do a sexy reworking version. But we'll see what we get out of what's left.
Maybe at the next Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup.
Oh, I can't tell you what I'm doing.
That's
It's gonna be
You got some competition coming there, Adam.
as long as the Potsquatch wins for
that's good. Yeah, the Potsquatch.
I don't care. I'm not really a competitive person.
It's a team win, right? It's a team win.
I'd rather be a cheerleader anyway. Like, I'm so proud of you, Adam. I would destroy you. No, I'm just joking.
That'd be good. Yes.
I'm looking forward to next year.
Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker.
Your beard, it must grow in thicker.
You have to use the Force. Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We're going to have the CSP update, and we got Dave coming in. Dave's an organic grower. He does everything organically. So we're going to have him, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes.
I'm pretty busy in here today. Just a real quick flash. And we got real pot here today. We got Neil Magnuson making little grams for people, which is just absolutely fabulous. How are you doing there, Neil?
Pretty good. I'm almost done.
That's so nice. We got real pot.
Yeah.
Is that an indica or sativa?
Oh, I'm not. It's a hybrid, I'm sure.
It's a hybrid. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
coming from Weeds, Glass, and Gifts.
Oh, that's so nice.
Here we are at Van Du. It's a Sunday afternoon, and we're gonna have an amazingly good, crazy day here. Our days are usually pretty busy, but today's busier than normal for some reason, which is really busy.
I noticed we have lots of extra products.
Yeah, it's okay because we do have lots of extra things today. It looks like everybody's going to get a really nice bag and lots of stuff. We got the girls here putting stuff together. These are our full-on CBD bags. There's the caps from Dirty Dave that he gives us every time here. We got Bannock today. Joyce made some Bannock cookies from Mary and things. We got the gummy balls from our anonymous gummy donator and so many other things.
Oh,
yes,
I
and
love
these hard
those.
candies as well.
Sorry. Oh, I love those. Wow.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be very potent as well. Holy Rollers doing their thing. If you don't want to be on video, don't look at the camera. So there's the Holy Rollers doing their thing. Landlord, of course, he wants to be on camera.
Yeah, he looks
The
great on
camera
camera.
loves you too, landlord. And so, that's what's going on. John's here. John, he brings hot food every Sunday. Such these tater tots, apparently. And whatever these things here are. Weed balls, and they look like weed balls. So we're just getting ready to go. We're about to put the boxes on the table and try to clear this room and get our lineup done. Well, we got a big lineup, so yeah, we're going to be playing our share.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good.
And what brings you to Cannabis Substitution lineup?
I come to get pot for my pain.
Oh my God, what kind of pain do you have?
I got hip pain.
Oh, hip pain's horrible. Hip pain's horrible. Is that an accident?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fell 15 feet 5 years ago.
This one? Can I give you seeds? Do you want seeds?
Hi, how are you today?
Hi, I'm good.
So what brings you to our Cannabis Substitution lineup today?
I'm coming to get the edibles that are half and half CBD, half indica or sativa. Doesn't matter.
And why do you feel that you like to have some of the CBD?
Well, I get bad anxiety, and it helps me calm down, and when I'm drawing, it helps me be still and not so shaky. It just helps in general.
There you go.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm high.
You're high? Oh, that's good. Can I have to do that? Because that guy looks really good, too. So what brings you to our Pot TV or our cannabis substitution lineup?
My passion for weed.
And how does it help you out in your life?
A lot. It helps me with all kinds of stress and creative thinking.
There we go, another big container. We've just gone through all the volunteers and we're starting on the people. Hi, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, thank you. And what brings you to cannabis substitution lineup?
Well, it helps me deal with anxiety and social issues that I have, dealing with people and getting out. It helps keep me calm.
So that's lucky this guy over here gave you a free pot, hey?
I know. I love it.
Yeah, oh, that's good. It's hard suffering from anxieties.
It sure is.
So do the edibles really help for the anxieties?
Yeah. They're a little bit slower to kick in than a traditional joint, but the effect, I think, is actually a little bit better. Like, you don't have that quick high and then a quick down. Like, it's a much more stable and steady thing. So for people trying to work or people if they want to be involved in the community, an edible is the way to go. Because you don't want to be smelling like weed all the time. You can pop an edible and jump on an airplane. You can pop an edible and go on a train, go on a bus, crowded bus with all kinds of people. It's good for you.
Hi, how are you doing?
Really good. Thanks for videotaping for us. Really good work.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome! Oh my God, it looks good. I'm really appreciating this.
You're welcome.
Hello and welcome back. And that was the CSB update, and that's what Neil Magnuson does every Thursday and Sunday in Vancouver down on the downtown east side. And if you guys are not aware of it, Neil gives out high-dose edibles and marijuana to people who are getting off opioids, and it's really making a difference. I think we're into their third year right now, fourth year, yeah. And every Thursday and Sunday there is lineups like you would not believe. And like a personal thing is, I used to walk through Victory Square here, and there would be people doing drugs like shooting needles, smoking crack and stuff like that. Nowadays, I walk through there to do the show. Sit down with Neil and at 420, and people are smoking weed, you know, and it's really nice to see that he is making a difference in people's lives and saving people's lives, because this opioid addiction is really, really bad, and we need to get people back to not dying. So we have Dave here. Dave, nice to meet you. Your last name again? Isaryk. Isaryk.
From Dirty Dave Limited.
Dirty Dave Limited. And Dave is an organic grower. He's been around for how many years? Probably 20 years.
More than that.
More than that?
I'm 50 now, so when I was 12, I first started selling grass.
Okay.
And I started growing it at 18 in the north end of Winnipeg.
Yeah.
I grew up out here in BC, but then through other things and that, I wound up moving to Winnipeg at a young age so that I could afford a home and whatnot, and lived there for a bunch of years and then came back.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I started selling hash and acid when I was 16.
Yeah.
Young college.
I was a young kid at the pool hall, and I knew this guy that'd sell me eights for 20, and I could sell them for 25. And make $5 in the joints, and I was on the job, man.
And in Toronto, people were selling 0.8 as grams for hash, and I would sell a gram for a gram. I was killing it. Yeah, and I would give you 3 for 20 or 2 for 25, right?
Yeah.
So
that was always my secret, to be honest. And
and people would always come back to you for being honest, right? Yeah. And then I did that for 8 years. Instead of living on the streets, I was selling hash and acid, which would pay for my rent and my food, stuff like that.
Growing up, I spent some time out on the streets and that too, and for sure, cannabis saved me from all of that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We try helping with the cannabis substitution program when we can, and it's just like
you're a big contributor.
It's just like the guys, that I grew up with and the friends I lost and that. I don't want to say their names. John Cass, Leon Bowman. I could go on and on.
There's a lot of people we've lost.
But a lot of times, all they really needed was a nice light buzz. We're all hurt, we're all broken. And all you need is a little buzz to get over it. You don't need a grand solution. And so that's what I hope the cannabis substitution program to do. is just give you a buzz for the night, get over it, forget about it, and take it easy.
Take that urge away.
You know, if a lot of my friends would have just been able to get high instead of hurt so much, they would have fucking made it instead of not.
Like
so,
when I was...
It's heartbreaking, and what the fucking government allows to carry on and continue. I like to say, if we marched and we packed up all the people that died of opiate overdose, it would fill that park. You would just, it wouldn't even fill that park. Like, I just wonder how big a block from the years of deaths of opiate abuse it would be.
There's a lot of deaths, especially across Canada.
A lot,
And I grew up on the streets too. I was 16. I was running away from group homes and stuff like that. So I seen a lot of stuff in Toronto. Being there, young in college. So.
But cannabis helps, you know, and cannabis heals.
I don't know where I would be without cannabis. It was 1981 I started smoking, man. You know, the cannabis was very highly illegal back then, right? But we only had hash in Toronto. We didn't have too much cannabis,
and all imports. You know, my uncle, and I can say this because he's gone now, God rest his soul, but he was a huge pot dealer. If he was alive, he'd kick my fucking ass. But he's gone, so I can say, you know, I can out him. And so, you know, as a young boy, he wouldn't sell me pot ever. It used to drive me crazy. But he'd give me an eighth. Oh, here, and I'd be, oh, come on, sell me some. I'd be the most popular kid ever. And he is all, no way.
You know,
But I got to smoke pot from Cambodia and Thailand and all those great, you know, foreign Africa, Mexican,
Blue Hawaiian,
all those great different
gold
ones,
that was actual gold bud.
And then there was the Oregon skunk that came in. So
see, you had a different year. I was doing like Romeo and Juliet hash.
Yes, we had that in Winnipeg with the red cellophane hash.
And the temple balls. With the layers of hash with the opium in it. Oh man, those were my hash days. But I came out here to BC and smoked my first skunk joint and drove my car into a ditch. I was like, damn, man. And I had a warrant for my arrest too out here, so I definitely was caught there, you know. So you do some organic growing, right?
Well, we're all organic now, you know. We weren't always. You can only go with the information you know at the time, you know. And so I used to be a salt farmer. I used to use general hydroponics with advanced big bud bloom, you know. And I used to get buds like my coffee cup, and they were lovely. And you know, I went to the Vancouver.
You got some nice buds
I went to the Vancouver Seed Bank once, and I was with some pretty heady company. I was with Guppy and some other people. You know, I was really proud of myself, And I fucking pull out this beautiful bud, and it was great. It was all going great. And this lady, I don't even know her name, she takes my joint and she's all, pass, she says. I'm what the hell, eh? And you know, so Guppy, he was such a gentleman. He pulls out his bag and he's all, you know, Dave, this is Island Sweet Skunk. It's probably not as strong as yours, but just smell this, man. And I smelled it, you know, and I got a couple pulls off that joint. Right then I knew I wanted to be organic. So then it just became organic, and then it's just been an ever-evolving thing. You know, to now we're live soil. So what that means for us is, you know, I use enzymes and I never use salts, and only organics and OMR rated fertilizers, but as well as we use the soil from time to time, and I feed the new crop, the old crop's roots. We chop them up. We use enzymes. We're not no-till. The really serious boys are no-till. I'm not no-till. I re-amend between crops. I break it down, use the same soil, re-amend, and then right back at it. But no salts, no chemicals, no poisons ever, because as soon as you do, you're no longer living soil, because all that stuff kills all your enzymes and stuff. And I use OG BioWar. And if you know, I just spent like $8,000 on enzymes, man. Wow. They're expensive, so you can't be killing this stuff. But once you get it dialed in, it's worth its weight in gold. It's all about prevention, right? It's all about prevention too. You know, being ahead of the grade and stuff.
And what do you mean by living soil? So you actually have things living in it, or you're talking about the organisms that are in the soil are
and
living?
The enzymes that I add and stuff are living, and you know, from crop to crop, they go on in culture and continue living.
So it's almost like
when
people
I do want to start putting worms in every pot, and I have found worms, but I'm grossed out by worms. But I'm going to have to get the boys to put them in.
The worms wouldn't eat the roots?
I don't think so. I think that it would just... I think the slight root loss might even be good for them, but I don't really.
So when people make compost at home and then that stuff turns into a soil eventually, is that basically what a living soil would be? Because Kind of?
Perhaps. There's different versions
of it. Yeah, but you wouldn't use that for pot growing.
I'm more of a commercial sort of thing, so I don't really. I already buy the pre-made teas and stuff. Like I use a lot of teas and the pre-made stuff.
And the
benefits, like I don't rock
the benefits of growing.
That's more probiotic, I think, that you're thinking of. Probiotic, no-till.
Okay.
And those guys have some nice weed too, but they're like they're rotting milk and stuff, man.
And have you noticed when you do organic stuff, have you noticed that you get a stronger potency compared to other people? Because I'm sure you've done both.
I don't know if I'd say stronger potency. I know I'd say easier smoke, cleaner smoke, healthier smoke, better oil, better concentrates. Because when you concentrate, you're concentrating what you grew with. Better smoke, higher THC. I don't think you could make that claim.
Okay.
I think that
I
would
smoked
be,
some Hindu Kush at 32.1,
sure,
right?
Sure,
yeah.
And I don't think that potency would be on salts. I don't even think quality. To be honest, I'm an organic farmer, and that's who I am.
Yeah.
But I still think you can grow really great weed with chemical fertilizers or Remo's nutrients.
Yeah,
He is organic, but a really, really great guy, and I think you can grow great weed. To me, the only way you can fuck your weed up, and there's only one way, and that's to fucking poison it.
Yeah.
These guys that use poison.
Yeah.
Poison it, poison it and then call it medicine. And then give it to your daughter or your kid or your neighbor and go, oh, here's some medicine, bro.
Yeah.
I only used, I'm really close with my grow store, and when I bring in my predators or my crazy stuff, I'm usually the only one getting it, and we laugh. Because these guys come in and they buy Stink and they buy Nova and they buy all these chemicals, and then they come back and they're all, hey bro, my Violator Kush is done and it's fire, you want some? And they're all like, no. Holy fuck, no. So to me, that's the only way. There's a million right ways to grow pot and have fun with it.
Because it's a weed, right?
That's right. It's a flower.
I'm not going to grow on anything,
To me, I've always thought, that the most unfair thing for cannabis is that it does get you high. Because it's such a gorgeous, beautiful plant that if it didn't get you high, ladies and flower aficionados would be growing it global. I mean, it's just such a beautiful plant. It really is, and it's got such a variation to it too.
And there's actually flowers. I think I maybe have seen it in a Cheech and Chong movie one time where the plant was really tall and had a flower on the top of it.
Yeah, no, I haven't had that strain.
No. Maybe it was just a movie thing, right?
I think they
really
probably put it on there to throw off the
maybe that's what it was, right?
something.
Because we all use the word flower, right? So you would think of it by flower, right? And I thought it was like a pink flower or something like that. So I figured I'd ask an expert, right? So what are we smoking today? We're smoking some Miracle Alien Cookie, right? Can I show some?
Yes, you can.
Sure.
That's from Capulator. I do have breeding ambitions, and so being a gentleman and not a scumbag, I Instagrammed Capulator and I says, listen, my friend, I'd like permission to breed your strain. And he said, yes. As long as I'm a good man and don't breed it with itself and take his work and be all, oh, here's my Mac. That's not cool. But if I was to take it with another strain, and then now this is Slurricane by In-House Genetics.
This is Slurricane.
Yeah. They're both pretty, popular strains. I'm not always great on the hype strains, but they sure move quick.
Oh, yeah. And this one seems a little bit looser, a little bit airier there.
I'd say, that's a good eye. Two things about that. Number one, I'd say that's more sativa dominant.
Yes,
Number two, that's a tester. The Mac, I've probably grown that Mac 5-6 times, so I'm starting to understand her. Listen, the harder strains, it's hard to understand and get them down. Whereas the Slurricane, that's my first crop of her.
Okay.
So I only really did one plant of her, and she turned of that pheno.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, there's I have 3 phenos of it, 3 sisters that are kind of the same, but not exactly, and they each have their own characteristics.
Oh, wow, eh?
Whereas some breeders, Seed Junkie Breezy, I have his orange push pop, and he's such a tight breeder, all his seeds are identical.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a real problem. I hoard seeds, and expensive ones too.
I have some seeds in my drawer. I don't know what my seeds are, though. I just like whenever.
Well, I'd paid $1,000 for 10 and stuff.
Really?
It's the big bucks for the good seeds. But then, they sell themselves. So.
Have you ever heard, I have an old friend, his name's Vern, and he can hang a piece of thread and a needle on the end of it and hold it over a seed, and it'll tell him if it's male or female.
See, maybe I'm not so sure about that.
No,
I'm a pretty skeptical guy, so I don't really believe in a lot of stuff. I'd have to see it to believe
do it. Yeah, you can actually look it up on YouTube.
Wow.
Pregnant ladies do it to hold it over their hand to see if their child is a male or a
And
female.
so what is that again?
So you take a piece of thread and you put a little needle at the end of it. And you hold it over the seed. If it goes this way, the needle, it's a male. If it goes in a circular motion, because these
I'm
seeds...
going to try that.
Yeah, if it goes in a circular motion, it's a female. If it doesn't do anything, the seed is dead.
Ungerminated?
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, if it doesn't do anything, the seed is dead. And if it does both, it's a hermaphrodite.
Oh, that's an interesting
and Vern's like 70 years old. I've seen him do this. I don't know if he was doing a little bit sleight of the hand, but I looked it up on YouTube, and apparently pregnant women are doing the same thing. Wow. So you can put it over their hand and find out if they have a boy or a girl coming. So I believe it's because of the aura. We all have a bit of an aura in our body. Seeds, living plants, seeds would have the same thing, and somehow I guess this needle picks up on it. And
that's the thing. There's a million different things that you just never believe. I have a strain called Loctite, which is Gorilla Glue number 4 times Mount Rainier. Now, I constantly had a slight hermaphroditic problem with it. In other words, at about day 50, the damn thing would grow penises and give me a few seeds. I was ready to slit her throat, but she was a really heavy resin producer. Then I read something online about Ethos Genetics was fighting with someone trying to claim that certain strains need to be in a 12 to 1500 ppm of CO2 range, not to be. So then I put my goddamn Loctite in 12 to 1500, like I upped my CO2.
Yeah.
No more hermaphroditic tendencies.
Really, eh?
So it's just a weird wild plant with a million different possibilities. It's really exciting.
It is an exciting plant, yes.
I'm up to something else now. Not only do I have Dirty Dave, but I'm about to unveil a new company. I make a salve. I do salves. I'm making salves, teas, soaps, and that.
Okay.
And bad joke. Dirty Dave's face wash wasn't exactly going, play as well as I hoped, right?
Cleaner than
So we're
going
going to go with High Medicinal is going to be the new company, and so I'm really excited about that. I'm trying to keep my head low. I want to be part of the new fucking thing. I want to. Dirty Dave Limited wants to be a company in the new regime.
Yeah.
But they're not ready to let us yet.
No,
just
not.
The sellouts and the favors and all of that. And those guys are all pretenders and dreamers. And I don't mind guys transitioning to the other side. It's the only way all of us will transition, so we can't hate the guys that do transition because we all want to. So if we hate them, well, fuck, they're the ones opening the doors. Just as long as they don't close the door once they're in and yell back, bust those guys, and we're the reason they're not succeeding, because we're not the reason they're not fucking succeeding. Guys in $100 million buildings are intimidated of me. I'm in a $100,000 building. What the fuck is that?
And you can grow better weed than they
Right.
did. Yeah, I know.
What the hell?
We've been doing it for 20 years,
Give me
man.
a $100 million building and see what happens.
Yeah, really. Yes.
I'll sell out and head to the Bahamas. I'm just kidding. But I do believe that.
I've heard about rumblings about micro grows.
Well, but the micro grow, because I of course have been approached, and I've checked it out quite thoroughly, and it's no different. The only difference between a micro grow and an LP is how much space you're allowed.
I thought the micro grows were allowed to sell to the government once they produce their product.
Well, sure, to the government. I mean, great. Except the government already has a lot of weed, so I'm not sure how excited or how much they'll be paying. Plus, they still have to follow the exact. I could not qualify as a micro grower right now. My weed would not qualify. They'd want to put it in the fucking microwave. I'd say no, you can't put it in the microwave. And the game would be over right there. My weed would not, and so that's completely incorrect. They say, I've seen this thing where they're all the LP's grass is passed test for no pesticides. Well, that's not true. They pass tests for no unapproved pesticides. So they still,
different ones.
But I think they're all going to fall apart. I think the good news is, I've been in grass since I'm a young man. There's no money in grass. Listen, if you want money, you got to deal blow or heroin. I'm not even lying. There's money for the little guy.
You retire in the Bahamas faster, right?
There's money for the little guy to live and maybe feed his family.
Yes.
But there's not this money for these big fucking corporations, man.
And
There just isn't.
It's not like the days where we used to trade a pound for a pound, right?
My mother's a strong lady. She's a strong lady. She's never smoked grass. So I asked her, mother, dearest, now that grass is legal, you gonna blaze? And she's all, no. She says, I didn't need the fucking government's permission to smoke pot. If I wanted to smoke pot, I'd have got it off my brother. So I really think that, you know, they were just playing for stock blips. You know, every time they put a story up, or every time they just had we're going to have edibles or drinks or stuff. Oh, the stocks blipped up. We sold. You know, now they're losing their shirts.
Yeah,
and
now they're losing everything. Yes.
Except that the guys that did it already cashed out. Already all have the fucking golden bear shoots and already got all the money and are all gone. Yeah. It's just the shareholders that are left to hold the bag now.
Wow, that's
really... You know, and I've been approached as well. You know, about, there's some LPs that want to sell. Yeah. That they even want to sell for like 20 cents on the dollar, 10 cents on the dollar. And I asked them, well, are these big ones or, you know, smaller ones? And they're smaller ones.
They're smaller ones.
But big deal, the equipment's worth nothing and the goodwill's worth absolutely nothing. See, I love Freddie Pritchard's show.
I love Freddie.
And the One Man Smoke Show, shout out to Freddie Pritchard. He is a truth teller. I do love Freddie. And he really, he does, and he lets the truth out. And we really get to see in some of the articles. I seen this one he shared where they have like $4 billion in good faith on the books, the LPs. So that's not even value. That's just like, say this coffee's worth, you know, $1 million, but I think it's a really good name, so I'll give you $2 million for it, $1 million. So that's what they fucking did, man. They're in big trouble. Yeah. So I think once they fall aside, there'll be room made for the littler guy. Yeah. What the gentleman before me said is what I'd like to see too, is that, you know, there would be a central place where you'd go and you'd get your tax, your stamp, and I'd bring in my grass, and they'd say, okay, Dave, this weed is certified as not fucking garbage, and off you go, man. Yeah. There you go, right? And
then you can sell it in your store.
Right, exactly. Or wholesale it out. Yeah. If I'm to believe my grow store, a lot of guys would fail.
Yes.
And you know, a lot of guys would have to learn how to grow again, because you can grow without poisoning and killing everyone. It's all about prevention, eh? As long as you're preventative and you don't show off your crop. And the biggest thing is, make your own seeds and clones.
Yeah. Well,
seriously, that's
I'm no expert grower like you, but I would always go out and buy this big bag of Miracle Grow already prepared soil, put it in a big pot outside, throw 6 or 5 seeds in there, put my little finger in there, plant them down, and see what I got.
I'll tell you something sad that proves you're exactly right. When I first started growing, I'm going to guess it was like 1986, and I was not the first. Listen, lots of guys were growing in Winnipeg. I was maybe the first in the North End. And so, you know, it was a fluorescent blue tomato plant food we used back there.
Yes.
And then we used Alaskan fish fertilizer as a little booster, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't remember my buds being any less beautiful or spectacular.
I would use a little bit of boost.
I fucking loved my bud back then too, you know? Yeah. So I maintain once again that if you poison it, you fucked it up. But other than that, have fun.
And it's going to burn black.
Right, and it's going to poison everyone you love.
And like you can see this stuff, it's burning beautiful.
And then if you cook out of it or you make oil, now you're concentrating it.
Yeah, and then you want to give it to people as medicine.
Right, you know, and then, you know, if you're buying weed off your dude and he's coughing like a dog in a kennel with kennel cough, you may want to fucking question the guy. You know, you may want to go, ooh, that's a pretty bad cough there, bro. What's going on? You know, because I love cannabis, I really do. And you know, I'm the hardest guy to convince ever. I believe nothing. Like, I don't believe we've been to the moon, Sasquatch, none of that fucking shit. And I didn't believe that pot helped really. But you know what? I make a lot of caps. Not only do I make caps for, you know, our friends there, but I've made them for cancer and dogs. I've probably made 100,000 caps for dogs. If your dogs are sick, get a hold of me. I can help you. And I don't charge for dog caps. I use a microdose thing.
Where do they get a hold of you, Dave?
Instagram. And so the thing is, I've seen miracles. You know, my shepherd, and I've made it for a lot of dogs, but I'll tell you one quick thing. My German shepherd, beautiful dog, he was 8 or 9. Hunter was his name. He's gone now. Hunter S. Thompson. I brought him into the vet. They were all, God, he's beautiful, Dave. I'm all, thanks. I love him very much. You know, he passes his thing. I'm all groovy. But you know, the funniest thing is his abdomen is rock hard. They get a funny look. They're all, oh no, spleen cancer, spleenectomy. They're all, do you want to do an autopsy? I'm all, no. You know, my dogs are my children. I'm taking my boy home to die.
Yeah.
You know, so I took him home and I put him on 15 milligrams a day, you know, and 3 years.
CBD or THC?
THC, full spectrum. I'm not a
okay.
CBD dude.
Yeah.
It's only because I haven't, I don't have the time to experiment properly.
Yeah.
At first I thought CBD was all bullshit, but you know, Todd McCormick, whom I heavily respect, has convinced me that it's worth experimenting.
Yeah.
So anyways, I take my shepherd back to the vet like 2.5, 3 years later. They're like, they've seen a fucking ghost.
I know.
They're like, what's Hunter doing here? I'm all, and they're well, his spleen was rancid with cancer, and I'm all, well, I know now. Never mind that, they refer people to me now. I don't charge for it because I can't be trafficking to squares I don't even know.
Yeah.
And I love helping dogs. That's what I do. So, but I've seen miracles with it. I've also seen it extend people's lives.
Yeah, I've seen miracles too. I have a friend.
Yeah,
I have a friend in Ontario. She has seizures. She lives with her mom. When I first met her, her mom had to be with her 24/7. Her dad came down with mouth cancer. We gave him some RSO. He continued to drink and smoke, and he died a couple of Christmases ago. But she went upstairs and she found the RSO, and she started taking it. And now she doesn't have seizures anymore.
Sure.
And she gets donated from somebody I know, the BC Bud guys. And her mom now has a life because she doesn't have to always be around her daughter. Right?
How great is that?
And my landlord, he's a drinker for like 30 years. He's got throat cancer. They get him some RSO. 5 weeks in, he doesn't want to drink anymore. And he's like been drinking for 30 years, 18 Milwaukee every day, a pack of smokes every day, and now the RSO has just turned him right around, right? So we're hoping that it'll cure his throat cancer too. His options were to have all his teeth pulled in there and irradiate his throat. So he said, no, I'd rather try this.
And see, what I always think is I don't really feel that the THC cures anything, honestly. I feel that the human body cures everything, that the human body's a miraculous thing, but if your body doesn't, like I've discovered I'm diabetic, sadly. And I didn't realize that, I had a really bad episode, and I didn't realize that if you don't sleep properly, my liver can't produce insulin, and then it thus becomes a whole fucking thing. That's your entire body. So when you take THC, it allows your body to go, I believe, into such a deep state of relaxation that it allows your body to do what it needs to do. Because your body's a miraculous thing. It just needs the proper rest and relaxation to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's why you need your sleep.
Yeah.
Right? 6 to 8 hours a
that
night.
Being said, I still never promise. I never even still offer hope of anything because I just don't want to be the guy that's all, I really hate these things I see on Facebook that, CBD and even marijuana, it'll cure your diabetes and your leprosy and your fucking gout.
Not all true.
It doesn't cure all of that. I got goddamn, it can help with things, but
and everybody's different.
And offering false hope is
we all follow
very
some
sad
groups,
thing.
but people who react to it different. Some people get really paranoid. Some people get very get a lot of anxiety when they're stoned,
and some people it really helps with anxiety.
Yes.
I myself, once I started eating and upping my milligrams per day, it really helped me a lot. Really helped me in traffic. Really helped me not be so crazy about the little things. I still am crazy about the big stuff.
Yeah.
But the little stuff, I'm able to let go, and that's at like 400 to 600 milligrams a day.
Wow, eh?
I took 1,500 at Christmas and got a little weepy, and the wife was kind of angry. Off in the purple chair in despair, crying away. And her and the dogs are all, Jesus Christ, man! Could you take a little less next time, Holy fuck!
Oh, that happens, right?
It does happen.
Yeah. One time I drank a whole bottle of Thompson Caribou syrup. And boy, it was only 12 hours of being stoned.
During your personal discovery.
Yeah, it wasn't something I was expecting, but man, that stuff put me down. Those were the old days. So what? Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we're really excited too. We're going to 420. We always have a big booth at 420. We always have something exciting.
Do you know your booth number this year?
199.
199. There you go.
We'll be there.
Look up in the corner of the booth. That's where the numbers are. You guys will be able to see.
Free dabs.
Free dabs
always. My favorite one ever. This one year I set up and this big guy next to me gets his bullhorn. He starts yelling at my customer, $3 dabs! I yell back, free dabs! He went away. It's a really great time for branding. It really is. I mean, when I used to go to the art gallery,
me too.
I used to make money there. I swear, because there was like 30 other vendors, and God, I would have a booth, and boy, would you sell.
Yeah.
Now with 600-700 other vendors, it's not as much of a profit thing as a branding thing. Really, it isn't. But it's still a really.
You think this year it'll be a little bit different because a lot of the cups have not been able to happen, whereas Toronto and Vancouver have been.
I'm really concerned about. Well, I don't want to say I'm concerned about the heaters. They're not going to arrest no one.
They don't have enough CSU to come in and do
fines, that. Right? We hope not. But if not, you know what? I've been there every year. I sponsor every year.
Yeah.
I'll fucking be there again. And
they would have to fine a lot of people. It would take them. Yeah, they're not going to do it.
Nah.
They won't bother Toronto. I'm not going to bother Vancouver.
I think it's going to be a party. It always is.
Yeah.
You know, part of when I moved to Winnipeg, you know, there's been some pluses and some minuses about BC. I mean, you know, being broke all the time's a minus.
Yeah. and being in Winnipeg too. It's cool.
Well, sure. But you know, BC 420's always been just a remarkable time. Last year I was standing there after, and Dana Larson, who's a man who I greatly respect.
Yep.
I just really think of the world of Dana.
Yep.
And you know, I was standing with, you know, someone I just really think highly of after. I was front row. There had just been Cypress Hill. There was goddamn the beach, and fuck, it was just, it was an epic time that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so you got to go. If you're a stoner, you just got to go.
And then the city was so scared that Cypress Hill was going to cause a riot and everything. And you know what? Nothing happened. Everybody was sitting down on the side of the hills. We're all smoking and having a good time. Nobody got trampled.
And
nobody
so many
got
people.
hurt.
It was just so beautiful.
And we're about to get that fear mongering again because 420 is coming up. The city's going to be saying, "Oh, you don't have a permit. You're not allowed to do this. It's not a protest," but we still do it. Don't we?
It is a protest because you know what? It's more illegal. I know, but it's more illegal than ever. I stand more of a chance of going to prison, having all my things taken than ever. It's not legal. You know that too. I'm preaching to the choir here.
Yeah.
But we got more reason to protest than ever.
Yeah.
You know.
But we're not. It seems like we're all just like, okay, well, we can smoke in public now, so this seems to be okay.
But there's good times coming. You know, listen, as soon as the United States legalizes cannabis, all these Canadian cannabis companies are dead overnight.
Yeah.
And then us little guys will be able to, you know, as long as I don't want to be worth $100 million,
so
hopefully I can still
We want Bernie Sanders to win, I guess.
Well, I think all politicians are scumbags.
Yeah, no, but he's the one that said he would legalize it in every state.
They're going to have to, though.
Yeah.
No matter who it is, the states will have to.
Bloomberg guy said he won't ever do it. He said that's
I don't pay attention to him. You know, until
I just see it on the news, right?
Until they start addressing our family living in the parks, they can eat shit and die.
Yeah,
you know, seriously,
that's true.
You know people. Well, you know,
how many people I drive by Oppenheimer Pike every time I come here.
From Mission. We're both from Mission.
Yeah.
And even in Mission, a beautiful small little sleepy town, we have people living homeless. It's fucking terrible.
My little girl.
Our brothers and sisters are living in the park, man. That really makes me angry.
Wow.
Right? In Canada.
Yeah.
You know. I'm not saying universal, you know, cradle to grave welfare,
even
but
in the
at least
States
we
too,
can
they
watch
got
out
people
for
living
our
in
brothers.
parks too, right? You know, it seems to be everywhere, right? And
so 420 is going to be a blast. I heard you asking them about contests. I love contests too.
Yeah.
I never fucking win either, you know. always a bridesmaid, never a bride. But I'll tell you what, that's not always, and I always place, but that's not the true measure of success with those things. And you really do got to enter. And I mean, the Karma Cup, let me tell you, as a businessman, you know, I spend and I sponsor and I watch a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so to me, one of the most important things is customer acquisition.
Yes.
I fucking love customer acquisition. I just live for it. It's everything, really.
As long as you feel good about the product that you're putting out, you don't need to win. You feel good inside, and that's enough.
That too.
Yeah.
No. You know, usually I dig a hole in the forest, hide for 4 days, and then come out and deal with it. But that being said,
so you want to win. You want to win.
But it's not even about that. You know what it's about? As I was trying to say, it's about the customers.
Yes.
Let me tell you. You know, 420, when I go 420 and do all this, I get a lot of customers. It's pretty groovy. Yeah. The smaller cups, which are still fun, and you know, you get some customers and you meet a lot of great people. We met at the Mum Cup.
Yeah.
May Moon, Tracy Curley, whom I loved. I met her there. She was just a fucking, you know, really special person.
Yeah.
I met a lot of great people at the Mum Cup. The Karma Cup, you know, they're good in that, and I really love them. But you know, man, you get customers. If you want your brand nationally known, if you want to be, you know, before the Karma Cup, I was known in BC and Manitoba.
Now you got to go to Toronto.
Toronto, Montreal, New Brunswick, they're just national. There must be if you take your product seriously. But of course, if it's a piece of shit product, I mean, I've graced last place too, and you know, that eats balls. And you know, you don't get a lot of action out of that.
No.
But you do get a lesson that you can say, okay, why did this happen, and now how am I going to improve it? You know, a good example is my Sav. The first time I entered the damn thing, came in last, and I was ready to jump into traffic. I was ready to burn the shit.
Wow.
And then I got a text, Dave, we really, really love your salve, man. It's just helped with, and I got 3-4 texts, and I realized, and then so I sat back and looked at it in a calm sense, and I realized, well, I need more stabilizer, and I need better packaging.
Yeah.
So you can really learn from it.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah, life is full of that. Even from all
really
your mistakes, you learn a lesson, right?
You do learn lessons.
Yeah.
You learn both in edibles,
Yeah.
and it's all packaging. It's not all like your product matters, but if you don't have proper packaging, to protect your product and
Then
that, you
it's
don't
not
stand
gonna
a
last.
chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that's the world we're going towards. 420 is competitive. The internet right now is so competitive.
Yes.
Instagram is the best marketing tool ever. All you got to do is show some pictures of some fat, sticky buds on internet on Instagram.
But there's a lot of people out there that are ripping you off too. Hey man, you want some bud? Send your money to the States. We'll send you some bud across the border. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of people out there, right? So you just don't know how to trust.
I do agree. I always love it on Facebook. You get friended from some random guy in the States, so I accept it. Yeah. And then he's always, sup, but bro. Not even what's up, just sup, bro. And I'm always answer the same thing. Listen, go look at Dirty Dave Limited on Instagram. I got grass. And I wish you the best, because I do wish them the best. Yeah. You know what? As long as they're not ripping people off. Yeah. Like I see they, pretend to be Mark Emery or Dana Larson or Cannabis Culture or someone and rip people off. That I'm not cool with. No. But otherwise, just a guy trying to sell some grass and feed his family. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that have been doing that for years and decades. Yeah.
And so the Instagram's a really great vehicle for that too. I think I really do. Yeah, I'm in love with
word of mouth too.
Well, that's everything. That's everything. I'm like the Costco of grass. All my grass has a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and I swear I only ever once had someone try and return it, and it was the train wreck. And I was mystified. I was all mystified. That's really great weed, and I'm all, Jesus Christ! I say, that's really great weed. What's wrong? She's all, she types back, oh, it's too strong.
That you can understand.
So I told her, geez, maybe I'll use some weaker stuff and you can keep that too. And maybe next time just take a puff, not the whole joint.
It's too strong. I've had experiences like that where people say it's too strong, they would like the lighter
But
weed.
I am a public figure, and so I do stand, not public, but you know where to find me if I burn you, so I don't burn you. Yeah. And I stand behind my products, and you have to these days, and you do get known quickly as a sham if you are a sham.
Yes, because
you should.
You've got the internet, and word can spread really fast.
This young man, I met through the Karma Cup again. Yeah. He got ripped off on an ounce of shatter. They sold him pine tar, in his shatter. So he sent me the email.
Actually, from the Karma Cup,
No. I met him at the Karma Cup, but he sold. I don't even know who ripped him off.
Yes.
But I love the email he sent back. He told, I hope you choke on the wishbone from your Thanksgiving turkey. Because they don't care on the internet. You do have to be very careful who you send your money to.
Yeah. You got to know, you got to reach out to people, find out who they're getting their stuff from, and has it been constant and stuff like that. So,
but you can usually back check. Yeah. And there are some scumbags out there, but one quick story, and I know you got to let me go soon.
No. Okay,
one quick story. I was returning a U-Haul,
Yes.
There's a picture of it on Instagram. I had like 200 pot plants in the damn thing. So I'm returning it. We swept it out good, because every time I return it, they give me a hard time on sweeping it out, right? And so we fucking really swept it out good, and I pointed out to the young man, wow, I swept it out good. And I was kind of belligerent about it, maybe even. Yeah. And he's like, oh, you dropped $20 though. And I was like, wow. And so when I went in and I seen his dad, I told his dad, wow, you got a good son. I says, wow, that's rare. There's not a lot of good people out there. You should be proud. Yeah. And his dad looked at me and went, no, there's lots of good people out there. I mean, I am proud of my son and all. Yeah. You wouldn't let the kid have too much, but there is lots of good people, is my point. You can't let the bad piece of shit, 10% of the guys out there, give the whole cannabis community and all the guys on Instagram
with all
bad
good,
name.
There's bad, right?
Right. But there's a lot of good people out there.
There's a lot of balance out there. Yeah. I used to hitchhike across Canada. So
did I back in the day.
From Mission to Toronto and to Toronto back to see my mom every June or July. Did that for 12 years.
Do you think you could now? Do you think people would pick you up
still? You know what I want to do?
I haven't hitchhiked for years, man. I used to all the time.
What I want to do is I think I'm coming into some money probably by the end of this year.
How do you feel about native art? No, I'm just
what I'd like to do is hire a limousine and have that limousine drive us to Toronto and back, and we'll pick up hitchhikers in the limo, right? And be with social media. We got weed in the car, right? We'll meet people across Canada, right? Obviously, I'll leave my 8-year-old behind for that one, but but yeah, I want to do something epic like that.
Well, see, that's the difference on the prairies. You know, on the prairies, if you see someone outside, you pick them up.
Yeah.
Man, it's minus 32 degrees out there. It's almost criminal not to pick them up. You might even get charged if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you didn't pick them up. We're here in BC, not a chance.
Well, and it's also,
could be an axe
even if you were doing it in the summertime, people wouldn't want to leave me on the highway at 2 o'clock in the morning, so they would take me to their house, give me a place to sleep, give me food in the morning, even though I had money and everything, right? But that's the kind of people that they're up there, right? I got a free haircut in St. Anne, Manitoba one year. It was on Canada Day, right? The guy took me to his place because they were going to Winnipeg. He's like, give you a better ride if you just hang around for a bit. Gave me breakfast. And he says, my wife is a hairdresser for St. Anne, for the town. He says, we'll give you a free haircut. So I told the lady I would never forget about her, and to this day I've never forgotten
it is a special place.
Yeah, I've gone into a restaurant to buy my lunch and have lunch, go up to the counter, and somebody's paid my bill.
Mm-hmm.
And just because they can see my bag, I'm hitchhiking, right? I always had a nice sign that said east please or west please, whatever way I was going, right? Because I always wanted to go east of where I was or west.
Well, and Winnipeg saved me too. Listen, as a young man, growing up in BC, I was homeless. I was living in abandoned houses, staying in group homes in Wellington Youth Detention Center that's gone now. Mm-hmm. You couldn't get a fucking place. I moved to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
You could rent a house for $500.
Yeah.
You pull out $1,000, the landlord would be all, holy Jesus, cash!
Yeah.
You know, and you can get a new place every 6 months, I swear. You know.
I always remember Winnipeg because you can't hitchhike in Winnipeg. You always have to take the bus around the perimeter highway and go on the other side of Winnipeg to hitchhike on it.
Wow,
yeah. Can't do that in Calgary either.
No.
And the other side, city bylaw there doesn't allow you to, so you have to be outside the city limits in order to do it. So Winnipeg was always good. Winnipeg, one time I was on the bus and I made friends with this guy and this girl and his little kid, and they took me off the bus and gave me a steak dinner in their home and gave me a place to sleep. And the next day I got back on the bus and headed out west. So I've had lots of interesting people, met a lot of interesting stories. And whenever anybody says don't trust, I'll never trust anybody. I always say about my hitchhiking story, and I'm still here today. So obviously I'm proof that you can trust people, because there's a hell of a lot of good people out there.
There is too.
Yeah. You just gotta find them.
Yeah. Well,
and sometimes they come your way too.
I really think too that a lot of times the bad people are just such shitheads that they, kind of cloud it for all the good people there.
Yeah.
But I really love Winnipeg too. Listen, it's the type of town that if you have $100,000, you're rich, man. You're a man about town. You've got moves to make. You got things to do.
Do you know Dave?
You got $100,000 in BC. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Do you
You're
know Dave
almost homeless,
Isaryk?
eh, bro?
Do you know Dave Isaryk?
No.
Sunshine Rosin?
Yes. I don't know him personally, but I know of him.
Great man.
And,
because you guys are in Winnipeg. So.
Well, I don't know him personally, but I know of him. We've had some social media contact, and I know his principles and his business mantra, and they're right along mine.
Yeah.
We're right along
when
the
you were
same
talking about the organic soil,
right,
he was telling me about that 2 years ago, I think.
Right, I believe it. Now rosin, just isn't much in my bag right now. But it's something I'm looking forward to learning one day.
Well, rosin was pretty cool when it came out there, and people were making it with their curling irons and all kinds of stuff. Then we've got the big machines to do it now.
I'm a real hash aficionado, so I love all types of hash, including rosin. Like, there's not a type. Distillate, I'm not too huge a fan of. I mean, I haven't had a lot of it, but because with distillate, it's mostly THC, so it's the high end. Whereas I really like the full spectrum, the entourage. I like everything. I always tease the wife that, a joint's got to hit my synapses. It's got to just, once again, it doesn't always have to be the strongest pot.
No,
it just has to be able to hit me all over my skull, And
it's my scoliosis. I got to feel it relax my muscles because I get muscle spasms and they're like really bad sometimes. Sometimes I can't even walk. It's that bad, right?
Jesus, you're gonna have to try one of my salves.
Yes.
Quick sales plug.
There you go. Right now I'm using RSO on those days, so I'll put a bit of.
Well, in my salve, not only do I use I used 5 entire outdoor plants.
Yeah.
I use a whole bunch of roots. I use the stalk, but then I also send, because all of my grass is grown on First Nation Nations land.
Yeah.
I'm not a native brother, but I'm right next to him, and I love them, and they're my family.
Yeah.
And so, we use the burdock root, we use frog's leaf, we use a bunch of things, and then what I do is I steep it for 4 days, strain it, add some more things, and it's done remarkable things.
Yeah.
I'll have to get you one.
Yeah. So how long do they stop the muscle spasm?
Like you say,
fast?
everyone's different, and
Yes.
everything's different now. I'd have to do some research for muscle spasms.
Yeah,
because,
I have scoliosis.
My number one salve
Yeah.
works really just incredible for psoriasis and eczema
Yes.
and skin conditions.
Yes.
And then when it's time for arthritis, I hit it hard with stinging nettles, in with everything else, and it's just magical. So, we'll have to let me do
Right
a little
now I'm
research.
using hot and cold gel that's medicated, and that
nice.
seems to work pretty good because it makes the skin open up and I can absorb it.
Mhm.
I have used some salves.
Well, your skin's your biggest organ, so it would for sure.
Yeah, but I find smoking is the fastest way for me, right? Just having a puff on a really good joint is, my body knows it's time to relax. It's maybe like a mental thing or something like that, but my spine is supposed to be straight and it's curved at the bottom here, so I get muscle spasms up this way and down to my legs. So.
And how's your thumb, friend?
Oh, my thumb is doing better.
Doesn't hurt no more?
No, I can still play the piano too.
Oh, good.
I was wondering about that. But I would only play 1 or 2 songs on the piano, but I can still play the piano.
Well, we live in Mission too, so it wasn't a bear, but I was smoking a joint, talking to my friend on the phone the other night about one. She's sleeping on the couch. I'm all sure. Fucking bobcat walked right up to our security camera, looked in the security camera. I'm all, Jesus Christ. Man, that thing was all business.
So you know about the signs all over Mission where it says you live in bear country. You go to Heritage Park and they got that big bear there and stuff like that.
Bears, cougars, bobcats.
Yeah, and I live where the new casino's going.
Oh, nice.
So now it's not so bad because they've taken out all that bush, the corner of Wren and Lougheed there, across from Walmart. So they've done all that construction. So they're moving the casino from down at Valley Village over there, and they're going to have 300 condos or something, and a mall there.
Wow.
So
it's a growing town. It's moving quickly.
So we don't get
We've
so
been
much
there
bears
15
and
years
raccoons anymore
now.
because all the bush is gone now, right? So this year has been a little bit better. We'll see what spring's like. But it was really strange how I lost my fingers one year, and the year before that I was actually saving my neighbor's life with the same bear bangers. I was on BCTV News.
Life's a funny thing, man.
Yeah, I know.
It really is funny. It just...
And I still have the box of bear bangers at home. I didn't get rid of them. If you
next time, just throw a can of soup at the print.
Well, no, make sure that the door doesn't slam itself, lock by itself. Just leave it open a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Or as my little girl said afterwards, we could have just stayed with the door closed, Dad, right? But you never think of that. It was more...
Traditionally, bears, but I've taken training. Traditionally, bears aren't a huge issue.
No.
But if you get caught in the wrong situation, it can get... roll out of control on you.
Well, the first time I had a bear in the same carport was I walked into the carport and I could sense that there was something there, and I turned my light on my phone and there was a black bear, and he came running at me, but he jumped onto my landlord's car over the hood and then in between the houses and up the tree, right? But that's the first time I had a bear like that, right? So when you see a bear running at you, it's like, holy crap.
Well, as I said, I work on the res almost completely, and so I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. My one friend, I don't work with him no more, but he was a really great man. I miss him. He's a good man. I still talk to him. So anyways, really drunk guy. I seen him drain 45 beers one trim. It was just incredible. So anyways, but he would still show up for work, so his lights were coming on at 6. I was at his house, it was 6:03, and I'm all, goddamn sailor, eh? He's gonna be fine. And here he comes, drunk out of his tree, swaying up the driveway, and I'm to Shar, I'm all, wow, that's some dedication.
Yeah, really.
Drunk and he's on time, basically. And there's a bear eating apples in the tree. And I yell, Gary, bear!
Yeah.
And Gary's all, And he said some crazy thing to the bear in, his native tongue. The bear looked at him and went, wow, he's drunk. Walked right by the bear.
The bear actually said that, Dave.
Well, pretty much. I walked right by him and didn't even care. It was amazing. Traditionally, bears aren't very confrontational.
Yeah, unless you surprise them or they surprise you.
Do you have the grinder, dear, or a joint?
We have a grinder right here.
Excellent.
There you go.
Some weed.
Thank you. Nice. So what do we got? We got like half an hour left. Do you want to answer some questions?
I love
anybody?
questions.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we'll do something a little bit different here. If you got a question you'd like to ask Dave about growing,
I am a Canuck fan, and I hurt very deeply.
Oh, I know. We're in third place right now,
Oh,
Dave. Yeah, I know. But Markson's coming back in a couple of weeks, right? It's not going to be as bad as he out the rest of the season, so we still have some hope.
And it's a work in progress.
Yeah. Well, we have a 7-second delay here, so before any questions will probably start popping up. You're going to roll a nice joint. What are you rolling? Some more of the alien cookie?
I'll roll the Slurricane.
Oh, okay. We're going to do some Slurricane now.
Just get rid of this one.
You ever mix them together?
No.
No, really?
No.
Hey, I do sometimes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have a few more strings that, I'm really looking forward to 420. I'm going to have a lot of variety for 420, a lot of variety. People are going to be really
Booth
happy.
199?
Booth 199. And it's right there on the corner, because last year I went front row, and front row I liked it, and I know Cypress Hill was a little, but had to shut loud and had to shut down the table for an hour and a half.
Okay.
Because the crowds were just crushing on me. Crushing on me. They were it was the politest 30,000 people you ever damn seen.
I know.
I swear there was these two guys crushing on my table.
Yeah.
And I was just oh, hey guys, do you mind not, doing that? And they're all, no problem. It was just the most gentle
Difference
kind.
between stoners and drinkers.
Right, like if they were all drinking, they would have
Fuck
been
you,
smashed.
buddy.
Right, yes, totally, exactly.
Right,
And instead
exactly.
it was just a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
It is every year.
I think we impressed the city last year having Cypress Hill. And
Well, I'll
nothing
tell you
happening.
something funny.
Probably turned some heads.
I always bring deep cycle marine batteries to hook up to my inverter.
Yeah.
And that big damn hill you got to walk up.
Yeah.
So there's 8 goddamn cops there watching us. So I carry these batteries past them, and then I carry some more stuff past them next, and I could see they're all watching me. So I stop and I'm all, excuse me, officers, can I ask you boys something? And they're all, what's that? And I'm all, you guys know CPR, right? And they're all, no. Not the fucking deal. It was very funny. And then the one cop's, I got my taser. They're having a good time.
There you go.
Yeah, so, you know what? They're not bad. We're all
No, they're
joking.
really nice.
And
Yeah.
I usually talk to them, and you know what? The funny thing is, they're so informed. This one officer once, I don't remember his name, but I was talking to him, and you know what? He knew about. Not only did he know about poisons, but he knew about poison. He was really well informed about the different types of poisons and systematic poisoning and stuff.
Right.
He knew stuff that I was all, wow, I can't believe a cop knows this,
Yeah.
And he was right. I mean, if you're
But he
using,
didn't know CPR.
if you're right, if you're giving your plants systematic poison, you're basically giving them cancer. Because what happens when you give them the systematic poison? The plant gets the poison throughout its whole system, and then the bug bites into it, sucks it, and fucking dies.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think happens to everyone that smokes it? And then make oil out of it and concentrate it 1,000 times, make it into shatter, and dab that up at 650 degrees.
Yeah.
And see how that treats you, man.
That's not good.
No, it's not good.
No, it's not good at all.
And the sad thing is, those same guys are claiming, this is medicine, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
That's what I think. What my one of my most disappointing things about legalization is I was really looking forward to them cleaning up the act and getting some clean, healthy cannabis out there.
Yeah.
But they're not into that because listen, tobacco. Let me tell you another project. I'm glad I remembered because I have another project going on. I've done for 2 years now. I feel the government wants to come in my backyard. We've been growing tobacco. Now, we're not selling tobacco, but Revenue Canada, but we've been growing tobacco and giving it away. Now, when you Google growing tobacco, they make it seem very hard. It's not hard at all. We got our seeds from the Vancouver Seed Bank. It was so easy to grow. We grew up this big patch of tobacco. I was going to roll blunts in it. I don't smoke anymore because tobacco killed like every man I ever loved. Every man I ever looked up to died from fucking smoking cigarettes. So, I want a natural, healthy version without all the pesticides, without all the poisons. So we grew this tobacco. Yeah. We cured it in Chuck Kelly. He's the good man that every week he drives my donations out to the city. I'm too busy growing pot and being crazy. So Chuck loves coming in. He's been affected by the opiate crisis too, so he loves coming. So we cured the tobacco upstairs in Chuck's place, and I came back and I'm also, Chuck, how's that tobacco curing, bro? And he all sheepishly, I smoked it dirty. So I said, well, that's okay, bro. How was it? And he's all, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. It wasn't poisonous. He smoked it. It cured his nicotine urge. So and you know, a pack of tobacco seeds is like $6.
Wow.
And it grows a lot. And you know, we tried growing it in a pot.
Yeah.
And in the pot, it grows too fast in the pot and it was too much. So now how we're going to grow it this year is we're going to do beds. So we're going to take 2x4s and you know, like 3-4 2x4s high, 8 feet long, 8 feet wide, and 8x8 stretch, fill it full of tobacco, seed and dirt, put a soaker hose on it, and try and grow some tobacco. Wow. Once again, not for sale.
No.
But you know, they want $16 a pack now. I hear. I don't smoke no more, but I heard it's $16 a pack.
Yeah.
So if some of my poorer friends and brothers can and sisters can get some tobacco nice and cheap and you know, not poisoned, because it's not poisoned either. So you know, that's
so
the same.
You have to dry it out and cut it all up or something.
We just cut it because it's the leaves you want to smoke. So now it was a little different in my light research. Every time flowers grow, you cut off the flowers to promote leaf growth. Yeah. And then it's the leaves you want. So then they had all these instructions online like it was so hard and you had to keep the humidity and all that. I think that's just to scare people off. Because all we did is we just cut it into sections. The plant, you know, let the leaves hang off the stalk. Just hung them in a line in a nice dry attic, and it dried up beautifully.
Wow, eh?
Yeah.
And you're smoking a better tobacco.
A better tobacco, no poison, and the government doesn't get to make. I mean, they talk about all this cannabis stuff. How many fucking people have they allowed to be killed with tobacco? And so they should be trusted with pot. How can we trust them with pot?
Well, we already know we
fucking
can't because of the radiation and chemicals.
My grandpa, both uncles, and my father all died of tobacco-related illnesses, man. Yeah. What the fuck is that? You know, and so that's what they're going to do.
Just like alcohol.
Right, just like alcohol.
Alcohol will kill your kidney, do your liver, give you water in the brain and stuff like that.
Improperly made alcohol. I'm here to wager you that properly made alcohol probably doesn't do that nearly as bad.
You mean like an Everclear or something?
Well, no, like I don't drink no more. But when I used to drink high-end stuff. So I bought a bottle of Louis XIII cognac for like $1,500 for a 2.6 that was 110 years old. I don't drink a lot, but I told you I'm fucking drinking this so I don't die with it on the shelf. My shithead brother will pour it down the drain. So we fucking drank it quick. It was special. It gave you a feeling of another time. And you know what? No hangovers with that type of booze. Now, I'm not a booze advocate. I think it's terrible. The jails are filled, especially provincial jails, are filled with alcohol addicts.
People will drive drunk.
It's a horrible thing that's caused so much damage. But once again, the government's allowing it to be made horribly, where it could be made in a more healthy fashion.
Yeah, and we've seen it ruin the indigenous people, and then what do we think as white people we can be better than them, and it's not going to ruin us too? You know? So the government says here, let's just make this legal. So it's bad. It's real bad. So I have a heart issue. Does anybody have any questions there, Neil? I have a heart issue and I want to start smoking again because of my anxiety and blood pressure is real high. What kind should I smoke that won't make my heart race and at the same time completely relax me?
I'd be worried about smoking if he has a heart condition. A lot of times, you know, if people want to get high, what I say, and it's not only for dogs, it's for a lot of people too, you know, eating is truly the most medical way. If you smoke a joint, you know, you're smoking the smoke, you get about 5% of the active THC, maybe 10%. I can't say percentages for sure. And the other 90% blows away into the sky. When you eat it, you're getting 100 cents on the dollar, man. You know, you're getting all your active drug. But what you have to do, because the worst thing is, you know, I made the joke earlier about greening out. Nothing worse than greening out. No. And if you're experienced and you've greened out before, it's not so bad. But if you're new to cannabis and that, and you green out, it's horrible, man. Yeah. I've had people go to hospitals and stuff thinking they have heart attacks and shit.
I've been told if you green out, got a little bit of CBD, it'll bring it right back.
See, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I've seen them do it at people at 420 and stuff like that.
Maybe.
So with the tinctures,
you know, because I used to tease my cousin that, you know, drink Orange Crush. You know, the mind's a powerful thing, too.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know if that's true.
But I really think, to answer the fellow's question, I really think that what he should, and not only edibles, but not candy, capsules. No. You know, that's why I make so many capsules. People ask, well, can I have a hash brownie? Listen. Yeah. Eat the capsule and eat a brownie. Yeah. But you really don't need the sugar. And what he needs to do too is come in low at like 5 milligrams first. Day 1, take 5 milligrams, take 10 milligrams. You're not going to get high off of it.
Yeah.
But at least now you'll see. Day 2,
Yes.
take 15 or 20. And establish the comfort level. Come in from underneath. This is for the heart patient.
Yeah.
Come in from underneath and find out where you're comfortable with and where you can take to the point where you're not having heart palpitations or nothing. There's no way I can suggest to a heart patient that he should smoke cannabis, tobacco,
your
or
breath.
anything.
Yeah, it gets your heart going
it's
already.
probably just not great for you if if you're a heart patient to smoke anything.
I would have said edibles too, yes.
Yeah,
I
light and from the low end.
No dabs.
No dabs.
No dabs, because that really gets your heart going. Yeah.
Right, and you know what? Taking too much edibles would really get your heart going bad
so
too.
starting with the 5 milligrams as a capsule.
And then slowly move up.
Yeah.
Do you have rolling papers?
Do we have any papers?
Sure, do you have papers there?
Do we have any more questions? Does some papers say it takes CBD? There you go. There's a skunk brand.
Thank you.
Is there any Potsquatch ones in here?
I got some in here.
You got some in there, do you?
Well, CBD, once again, the brain is a powerful thing, and so if you suggest to someone something, it may or may not help.
I've heard because it's like the plant. So where you have ACDC, which is a pretty high CBD plant, you smoke it, you don't get the high, it could be the benefits of the CBD. So if you're really high on THC and you're greening out, if you do some CBD, it's supposed to even it out. So you now have more CBD in your
I would
system.
need to see that to actually, recognize that. But it's a possibility.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it more than once before. I've never had to do it, but I've seen it happen once.
See, again, I'm not a huge CBD dude, but everyone's different. And to be honest with you, I haven't been allowed to do proper CBD research for one reason. I don't have the market. I like to make jokes that this guy I know named Mike, well, I used to know, he had lots of CBD weed, but I only joke because his weed never got anyone. So it had to be.
And if you're doing it for CBD, why would you want to smoke it anyways? I'd rather my CBD in a tincture.
Now that sounds like I'm against CBD, and I'm not at all. I'm a full spectrum guy, though. So I want CBD, but I also want THC and CBN and all the different ones. But I want CBD too. I want everything. I want the full spectrum. So I'm not against CBD.
No, neither
I'm in favor of everything.
Yeah, it's helping a lot of people. My mom, 73 years old, never smoked pot a day in her life, ever. But last year, she was having swollen shoulder and swollen hands, and I gave her 1,000 milligrams of CBD. An hour later, the swelling has gone. She could move her shoulder.
Wow.
The swelling in her hand, she was able to move her hand. And now my mom takes 1,000 milligrams every day of CBD. So that was my living proof for me.
And where does she get it?
We have a lady that makes it in St. John, New Brunswick.
See, and I think again,
and if we're not paying the exorbitant prices that the markets are charging, this lady is very fair.
And I think again, the key there too is you're getting it from someone you know that you can trust.
Yes.
Now, I don't always watch daytime TV, but when I do, I watch Dr. Oz. I'm just teasing. But he is a really, and we watched a few different things on CBD with him, and I do trust his opinion on a lot of things. And that was his main thing, is they tested a lot of it, and a lot of what they tested came back as absolute,
Really,
Well, not that it didn't work. That they were saying this was CBD when it wasn't necessary. So that's what I was saying earlier. I feel that if Todd McCormick, maybe Clint Young, or someone that I respect does it, then I think that's something I'd like to research.
These people I know, we've been to their
if
home.
you're buying it at the gas station or whatever, then you've got to question
if you're buying CBD,
and if the guy's, saying that it's going to cure all these miraculous things, you have to question it. But again,
I ask the people who are
what
using
I think is, hey, if it works for you and makes you happy, go with God.
And
Thank
I
goodness
didn't
it's
expect
helping.
anything to do for my mom, but she convinced me that this lady CBD works because she's 73, never ever taken anything THC, CBD in her life.
Just like
and
with
within an
cannabis,
hour.
I'd rather take a small town lady's homemade CBD made with love and knowledge than some corporate junk that they're fucking around.
Exactly.
So I think that's where I'd go with that. Is with hers, I'd totally give a chance.
Give it a chance, And then, like I said, she's not charging the exorbitant prices that you can get for CBD right now, right? Because people are just
And then again, I'd still throw some THC in there.
Yeah, she's got the CBD THC mixture.
Oh,
She got 500 milligram, 1,001. I don't know. I'm allowed
That's
to say
what
her
I
name
love.
because she's trying to go legal.
There's so many different facets. There's bath bombs, everything.
Oh, yeah,
This contest, I'll tell you a funny thing. I won't even name the contest, but they were asking me if I was going to enter. I was in a funny mood that day, and I'm all, so listen, what category do suppositories go in? The edibles or the topicals? So they answered, and I didn't enter.
What was their answer?
Topicals. And don't make them too fucking strong, Dave. Jesus Christ, man. And it's actually a good vehicle for certain people too.
Yes.
You can't do other ways.
Yes, it's faster for them too, right?
But once again, my hero Freddie Pritchard did take one for the team on one of his episodes, I believe. I didn't really watch that episode, but I do believe he took one for the team. And so I'm only joking. It is it is something that's interesting.
Yeah, I know somebody who actually makes them in Abbotsford.
Oh wow!
Yeah, she makes them.
And I went through kidney stones quite dramatically at the beginning of this year. And I only bring that up is because I used THC. I was almost up to 1,000 milligrams a day.
Wow!
And it really helped me pass them. It really did. I really make it so bad and it took 3 weeks almost. It was the worst one I've ever fucking had.
Wow!
And so I wonder how THC suppositories would have worked. As silly.
I never tried one.
At first we laughed. No, me neither. At first we laughed, but if some dude has cancer or something, it's no longer funny.
And it's faster for your system to go this way than to have to go all the way down here through the 16 miles of your intestine and all that stuff, or whatever it is, 16 feet or something, for it to get into your system, right? So, yeah, much, much better. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. So, whatever way you can do it, right?
I agree.
Whatever way you find is benefit for you. Well, the old people don't want to get high, but they want the benefits from it still. So.
Mm-hmm. And it's a changing world, but then a lot of it's still the same. I've had some people. My uncle that's gone. His old good friend still gets to come see me, and so he is over and he's all, Dave, how come there's never any fucking honey oil anymore? And I told him, Bob, we took the honey oil and we threw it in the lab oven and dried it up and call it shatter now. And he's like, oh, wow, and I'm fucking right. So I says, you can just break that shit up right in a joint. You don't need some $500 super smoking device, right? And he's all, really? I'm sure shatter Jay's brother. That's my favorite way of shatter. I don't even like the dabber. I just put a third of a gram in a joint.
Shatter.
Yes, it's just delicious.
Yeah, I have a friend of Mission that's been making honey oil for years. I've been buying it for years. It's so thick, you turn it up. So I show pictures on Facebook, and people are, where do we get that? I haven't seen that old school. Yeah, he still makes it. It's not a distillate. It is the honey oil. It still has the smell and stuff like that. I remember cherry oils. I guess RSO would have been our weed oil.
Well, RSO, listen. Not to be Mr. Controversial, and Rick Simpson is a good man with a generous heart and a great person, so I don't want to throw him under the bus.
Yeah.
But it's not RSO, it's hash oil.
Yeah, hash oil, that's what we used to smoke, right?
Was around for 2,000 years before fucking Rick Simpson.
Yeah.
Not to beat up on Rick Simpson, he's a wonderful man that helps lots of people out of the goodness of his heart, so I'm not beating him up.
So the weed oil that we were smoking in the 80s and spreading our papers with is the same thing today that we're...
Right.
Really,
It really kills me.
Made the same way.
It really it really, really, really kills me because, back in the day, I had a Rottweiler named Scooby-Doo. He was a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
He got lymphatic cancer. I took him to the University of Saskatchewan, to Canada's only dog oncologist. I spent $35,000 fucking dollars on radiation and chemotherapy so that my dog could die of toxic shock, not even cancer. And you know what the saddest thing is? I was cooking hash oil on the stove while he died there, and I didn't know to give him hash oil. I didn't have the internet. I didn't fucking know.
We were just smoking it, right?
Piece of shit government.
Baby jar full.
The government knew, but I did not know. And my poor baby, I poisoned him, and I poisoned him instead of healing him like I could have. And that really hurt me.
Yeah, but We didn't know, right? The government was feeding us bullshit, right? Oh, this plant's bad for you.
That's
it's
right.
Gonna kill you. It's gonna make you go to do other drugs and stuff like that. Bullshit. You know, bullshit. It's kept me from other drugs.
Oh, totally. Listen, I hate to admit, if the audience will notice my exceptionally large nose, I did have quite a huge cocaine problem for 2 years in my early 20s. I think we all did in the 80s.
Crack for 10 years.
Well, you know, the cocaine, we cooked it up into freebase back then, so we didn't quite call it crack, but and we put a bit of cinnamon in there too.
That's when I learned was when we were smoking pink Peruvian flake and stuff like that. So we'd make it up in baking soda or some ammonia or something.
Well, as soon as you start doing that, the party's over too. You know, when you're doing lines, you're still going out for dinner, you're still telling jokes. As soon as you start smoking it, your life's over. And you know what? All I had left was 2 ballasts, 1 bulb. I was starving to death. I had fucking fallen to nothing because of smoking it all in cocaine. You know, I got some seeds off my uncle. This lady, whom I'm with 30 years later, invested in a bulb in me because I only had 1 bulb. I took them 2 ballasts and those 2 bulbs, and I fucking started growing in my basement in Winnipeg again. And cannabis fucking saved my life yet again, man. You know, and not just me.
It got me off crack too. Now I'm 18 years clean. I've got 18 years of never ever doing that shit again, right? No. And I'll never ever go back because I know what it can do.
And the sad thing is, when you go back, you're just where you left.
Well, I relapsed during those times. You know, those years when I was getting clean. But yeah, I know that.
Yeah, it's not like, I haven't done it for 10 years. I'll be better now.
Oh, no. You know you're going to feel like shit the next day and you're blowing all your fucking money. You know you can't stop when you start, right?
Well, that's also why I won't sell it, because, you know, your best day is your best friend's worst day, right? You know, you know, you call up your best friend, he's all, oh, geez, I had a bad night. My wife's leaving me, and you're all, well, I'm at the mall. You know, spending your money. Jokes aside, it's a terrible thing.
Yeah, it is.
And cannabis helps. And, you know, that's really why another, you know, to bring up Neil's program again, that's, you know, really why I believe in it. Because I really think cannabis and a nice little cannabis buzz can really steer them aside for the night. I know it did for me. I know a nice little buzz, and you know, and then if I couldn't have cannabis today, if all of a sudden I had no cannabis, guess what? I need something, man. So I don't know if I'd score a 6-pack, a bottle of wine. I don't know what the fuck I'd do, but if I didn't have weed,
after 2 days of cracking out, I'd smoke 6 joints just to be able to calm down and go to sleep, right? So eventually I found out, hey, this can make me feel like this all day, and I won't want to do this crack, right? So, and that's how I.
Well, and you must have seen too that everyone in your life left you.
Well, I was living in a room, you know, like didn't have anything in my life, right? I lost my kids, my first round of kids, but when they were 10 years old. I never did it in front of them. I was always in my bedroom. We always had food and stuff like that because I was running for somebody else, so I really made my own stuff. So I was like a working.
Well, I broke the rule. I sadly got high on my own supply.
Oh yeah. I would never.
Number 1 rule, right down the fucking toilet.
I was smart enough to know not to sell it because that's when I would end up owing a lot of money to somebody and fucking probably get my legs busted or something like that, right? So
yeah. But cannabis can free you. From that, I believe
anybody.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you need other things too. You need love, and you need, you know,
support,
beliefs, and support. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
But
and once you're in the cannabis community and you're smoking with other people, you get love and you get support because they're all there too. And some of them, like you and me, have been through addictions and stuff.
And the core of the community is there forever. You know, there's people that come and go, and then you got the core. You know, like cannabis culture and them boys that have been there just forever. I like to joke that, you know, I've been buying seeds off Mark Emery since I was a young man. Since I had a mustache, you know. I always tell this thing that, you know, back when it first came out, you couldn't get fucking a strain nowhere. You couldn't. My own brother wanted, you know, like a third of my crop. My uncle wanted $10,000.
Wow.
Big Mike wanted a third of the crop, and Big Mike's clones were the best.
Oh, wow.
So we took Big Mike's clones, and they were great, and we had to give him a third of the crop just for the goddamn clones.
Wow.
So then this guy comes over, and he's got a catalog. And he's got all the names blacked out of who it was. And I'm all, what's this? And he's all, well, I'm going in the seed business. Well, what the hell are you talking about? I'm going to be your only customer, so what the fuck, eh?
Yeah.
But he had all these different types, so he left, and I went to Char, geez, I need strains bad, but this really doesn't sit well with me. I treat this guy good, and he comes in and does this to me, and she's all, listen, just put it under the light. So I put it under the light. The guy wasn't that smart, and you could see, cannabis culture, Mark Emery seeds right there. So, we sent them boys, a couple $1,000, and we were poor. And we sent them a couple $1,000, and we were pretty worried, right?
Yeah.
And sure as shit, man, the seeds came. They were blueberry like they were supposed to be. They were good blueberry.
Yeah.
Changed the whole game, So the community's been here forever.
Yeah. I've been here for forever, too. Yeah. I remember the small gatherings at the art gallery.
They changed everything. That there changed a lot, and being a prairie boy coming out here, listening in the prairies, man, they'll beat your head in. The cops I'm talking about.
Yeah. Anything east of the mountains, man, you're screwed.
If I set up Dirty Dave Limited's tent at the Manitoba legislature, they'd come in like a helicopter. It'd be crazy. You could never do it. So it's a special thing.
Yeah, it is.
I love Vancouver. I love BC, and I love the cannabis community here. They've treated us good. They've welcomed us, and Jeremiah's been nothing but ever a gentleman to us.
Jeremiah Carler
treats us treats Dirty Dave Limited like gold.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, he's a good man. I respect that man very much so.
Yeah.
And now here I am on cannabis culture,
He works. He's a hard-working dude.
He is.
Man.
He is. Sometimes you text him, he don't get back to you. He's so busy, right?
Yeah.
Well, Dave, it's about 10 minutes left in the show.
Well, I really appreciate you having me.
But you're my first guest. Right? I've never ever interviewed anybody ever before, so
it was really fun.
I hope I did well.
Fun.
Yeah.
I think you did.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And thank everybody else for joining in today. It's been a blast. I was a little bit nervous in the beginning, but as I got into it, it's like, it's the old stuff, like riding a bike. This one over here? All right, gotcha. Some technical help here. So, again, we hope that Neil is feeling much better next week, which I'm sure he will, and he'll be back, and we'll see you next week. And I usually finish off my broadcast with go out and do something nice for someone today. They'll do something nice for someone else, and we'll have a much better world to live in, and that's what we need, is a much better world to live in. So thank you once again, and Neil, we hope you get better, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks. Nice.
Mayor Kennedy Stewart's voicemail of the city of Vancouver.
I'm Carly Marley. Oh, and I'm BC Vine. Sorry. We are going to be doing a phone protest. Did you want to get stoned? Would you like a dab? A bonger? I'm sure there will be doobies on the way. 419. I'm going to get my dab ready.
Fight politically by having the Vancouver City Council give us an emergency license to continue to do business because we carry products that you can't get anywhere else. And a lot of people, patients and regular customers, just people who smoke cannabis for recreational purposes or as a substitute for dangerous alcohol, tobacco, or other things, they need access to these products, and it's not fair that they can't get them, and it makes no sense to shut them down. It's hurting people to shut them down, and it hurts no one to allow them to remain open.
It's a really messed up situation because a lot of people keep saying, well, it's legal now.
I'm just sad. I've been there almost 2 years. The amount of people that come in with such positive words and impact, it's just a sad day right now. I don't know, it's a community. It's more than just the marijuana industry. It's more than just making that money. Yeah.
The jobs are there for them, but we just are being forced to close.
The mayor had an opioid task force open hearing, and we went and presented the information that shows that dispensaries literally save lives. The more dispensaries that there are functional in areas, the more that opioid deaths come down.
We've been applying for licenses again and again and again, and they refuse us. They won't even give us the proper form to it. And yet somehow other people are being given a license. Yet whenever we ask, the licensing process is closed. I think we should start making some phone calls. Yeah. I'm going to do a dab so I can be nice and high when I call the mayor. there. My name is. Oh, what happened, you guys?
You fucked up.
I
Carly.
fucked up. We got to be polite. I'm calling because I wanted to let you know that I'm in complete disagreement with you closing the existing dispensaries and threatening arrests to do this kind of thing during the opioid crisis when it has been shown that having dispensaries in the area helps decrease opioid overdoses. It's just crazy. It's such a waste of taxpayer resources, all the people that you're putting out of work, and I urge you to please allow dispensaries to get emergency licenses so that they continue to operate. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a good one.
Wow. No, what you said, and I hope you have a good one.
So, one down. You guys, now it's your turn.
It's like, beep, beep, beep. I'm just calling on behalf of the whole dispensary shutdown. I'm just hoping you can please reconsider your decision and give emergency licenses out to the community so we could all stick together. Thank you. Have a good day. Kind of panicked, but...
Nice. Good.
I would hope so.
Then you're all warmed up for your bong rip. Ew, ew.
What flavor are those?
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Bro, I was not expecting that.
Is it good? Yeah.
Oh my god, I literally feel like I'm gonna pass out. This is so fucking gross.
Just look at the lollipop.
Just move your hand for a second. Here, wait, I'll bud cam it.
What?
No, I can't do, no. Is that...
This is on live on YouTube and Facebook. Pot TV. Pot's channel on iTunes podcast and on...
Is it that foggy outside, or am I just...
I'm scared of everything now. It's just weed. I literally just... that was weed that scared me that much.
Are we still banned on YouTube? I'm Marijuana Man. Welcome to From Under the Influence. If they had weed, guaranteed they would make money. That's the only conclusion I can come to, is they don't have any weed. Because people are still going to buy it, for God's sakes. People actually like weed and want to buy weed. And a huge number of people have no choice but to come and buy it from you. And still, you can't make money? Holy fuck. Now what? What are you going to do to us now? When I was even at a very young age, go, wow, like, why would this be illegal? It is so much fun.
Outlawing laughter and feeling good?
Yeah,
What?
laughing. Thanks for joining us. See you next time. Peace. And pod.